In this lesson, we will see how we can gain remote access to our target system by using a payload, right, which is created using Metasploit framework. So for this practical, Kali is gonna be our attacker machine and window 10 is our target system, right? So I have developed some steps for you to follow, right? Now, the very first command is msf venom. So msf venom is going to help us in order to generate payloads, right? So msf venom, first of all, let's do msf venom -h. -h is for help, right? So it's going to show all of the available options to be used with msf venom command, right? Let's see, there are so many options, but the one which we are going to use is -p, which stands for payload. So let's do that. msf venom -p for payload, then we are generating payload for Windows, and then interpreter, and then reverse TCP, right? Now we have to set lhost, that is localhost. So localhost is our Kali, and local port will be 1234, right? And then we have to set format, so --, format, so it's going to be exe for Windows, and then the name of the payload, let's say jackpot. Okay, hit enter, and msf venom is going to generate a Windows payload for us with a name jackpot.exe, right? Now we will generate payload and host it on our local machine, right, by using Apache web server. Now if you go to the internet and search for that server, Apache web server, then you will know that around 60% of the websites from all around the world are running on Apache web server. Okay, now if you don't know how to configure Apache, then I have explained this in practical in very detail in the second last section of this course, which is called as Linux for beginners. Okay, now let's copy our payload, which is jackpot to /var www and html. So this path is the default path for Apache web server, right? So if you are going to host your website, then you have to use this folder, that is html. You have to host your website under this folder, right? So let's copy, done. Now we have to start two services. The first is service PostgreSQL, that is your SQL. Okay, start. Right, now we have to start Apache web server as well. So service Apache to start, right, done. Now let's start msf console, that is Metasploit framework console. So the next command would be to use exploit, right, to use handler. So it's very important step. So we will start with use exploit multi-handler, then we will going to set payload for Windows. Okay, then we will set localhost, then local port, and then we will use exploit feature. Okay, so this is how we are going to get remote access to our target PC, right? Now let's move back to Kali. Okay, it says starting the Metasploit framework console, so we have to wait for it. Done. Okay, so use exploit multi handler, and then set payload for Windows interpreter. Okay, it's going to autocomplete because I recently pressed tab key, so we have to wait for this. interpreter, reverse TCP. Done. Now set lhost, which is 10.2.10, and then set lport, which is 1234. Done. Now it's time to exploit, right? Okay, so show options, right? Show options to see all of the available options to be used here, right? So it has mentioned that you have set localhost and you already set local port. Done. Now exploit -h for help, and we will going to use two different options. One is -j, which says run in the context of a job, and then -z, which says do not interact with the session after successful exploitation, right? So exploit -j -z, and let's move to our target PC. Okay, now it's up to you how you show your creativity to force your target to go to the URL where we have uploaded the exploit, okay, or payload, where we have uploaded the payload. So suppose the target visits your website and somehow you manage to redirect him to the payload section, which would be jackpot.exe. So 10.0.2.10 is your website address. Okay, suppose this is your website address, and then jackpot.exe is the page which you want your target to visit. In order to download the exploit, see, as soon as your target reaches to this page, the download has been started and ask for run the payload. Now your target would not know that this is a payload. Okay, so you can change its name. Let's say you have won something or like that. Okay, lucky draw, etc. Right, now let's move to Kali and hit exploit. Right, it says started reverse handler. Okay, so let's see sessions -i. It says no active session. Okay, so let's run exploit -j -z again. Exploit failed because okay, 1234 is already in use. Okay, so it automatically started this session again. That is, Kali automatically closes the 1234 port just to stop the previous services, and then it has started it again, right? So it says sending stage. Okay, so MeterPro session 1 opened. That's good. Let's hit enter and let's see whether session started or not. Yes, the session has been started, right? So let's use this session. Okay, so sessions -i and then the session number, which is 1. So sessions -i and then 1. Done. Now we are in our target system shell, right? If you want to verify, let's do pwd. See, we are in system 32 folder of C drive of our target system, right? Let's do ls. So it will list out all of the directories and files out there. See, okay. Now let's perform some more commands like if config. So let's do that. So if config, it says 10.0.2.7. Good. Let's verify whether the information is correct or not. So let's open command prompt and let's do ipconfig. Let's verify. See, here it is. Okay, so 10.0.2.7. That's good. Now we can also shut down our target PC, right? So let's do that. So power off, hit enter. Okay, unknown command, right. So we have to use shutdown. Done. See, the window 10 is going to power off. It's shutting down, right? So this is how we can get remote access to our target system and do whatever we want to do. Now let's see how we can create a Trojan using Kali, and then we will use it to gain access to our target PC, which is Windows 10. So let's see how to do this. So I have typed some steps for you. You have to follow these steps, okay? Now let's run SE toolkit. SE stands for Social Engineering Toolkit, okay? Now select the first option which says social engineering attacks. Now we will going to use PowerShell attack, okay? Now we will use PowerShell alphanumeric shellcode injector, okay? So 1. Now it asks for payload listener IP, okay? So assign IP of our Kali, which is our local host, and now the local port. So okay, 443. Do you want to start listener now? Yes. Now once it completes its process, it will going to create a PowerShell.txt file, okay, and its path would be something like this, okay. So let's wait for it. So the process is completed. Now let's copy this. First of all, let's open a new terminal, and now copy, and you will see path from here. See this one, /root/.sat/reports/PowerShell, okay. So let's copy this. So root reports PowerShell, and then done to where www.html, okay. And now let's say we rename this to fun.text.bat. Done. Okay, see guys, by default we will going to generate a payload of architecture AD6, okay, but you can change it to 64 as well, okay, 64-bit as well. But for that you have to use the option -a. A stands for architecture, okay. But for now, see, it's up to you how you deliver this batch file to your target. Maybe you use USB, maybe you send using email attachment, maybe you use a web server, or maybe you use a shared folder, okay. So in my example I have used shared folder, but let's not do that, and let's use web server for this. So switch to Windows, okay, and now let's access the website, that is web server, okay, and then the name of the file, which is fun.text.bat, okay. Hit enter, and it has finished downloading, okay. Simply click on run, okay. So it's running. Done. Close this one, and now here we will get our session, okay. Okay, so as you can see, the session has been opened. It says Meterpreter session 1 opened, okay. So let's hit enter and let's check it. -i, okay, -i1, done. Now let's run some commands like help. Okay, help command will show all of the commands which are available to be used on this meterpreter shell, right? So we can use hash dump, okay, for dumps the content of the same database, right? If you remember, we have done previously a practical by using pwdump7 for dumping hashes, right? But you can use hash dump command as well from here directly, okay? And we can also use some of the commands like get system, okay? We can use webcam, record mic, okay? We can also use key scan start, this one, okay? It starts capturing keystrokes, okay? So it works like keylogger. And then we will use key scan dump, okay, to see all the keystrokes used on your target PC. Okay, so let's run shell. See, it says we are in our target PC, which is Windows 10, right? Now we can also use dir to list all of the available directories on your target PC on the system32 folder, okay? We can navigate to different directories if we want, right? We can also use this option which says key scan underscore start, right? And then key scan dump, okay? But as of for now we are in Windows terminal or command prompt, so let's run ipconfig. See, it worked. Now from here you can use all of the Windows command, okay? So this is how we can use, or we can generate a Trojan using Kali and then use it to gain access to our target PC. In this lesson, we will talk about ARP spoofing and ARP poisoning and will perform a practical. So ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol and spoofing means redirection of a network, right? So this is the scene where this is our target which is running Windows 10 and its router, right? So target is communicating with the router in order to access internet and other resources. Now we are here, right, running Kali Linux. So we told this target, our target, that hey, I am your router, okay? So in order to access resources you have to send request to me, right? And in ARP poisoning we are using MITM. MITM stands for man in the middle attack. So we are acting as a man in the middle between these two, right? So we are telling router that hey, if you want to reply back for any request, then you have to reply back to me, right? And then we will reply back to our target, okay? So we are acting as a man in the middle, right? So let's see how to do this in practical. So here is our Kali, which is an attacker machine, and we will start with ARP spoofing first. So ARP spoof -i, -i is for interface. Interface would be ETH0, right? Now guys, we are actually acting as a man in the middle and we will capture all of the network packets, okay, using a sniffing tool called Wireshark, right? Whether it is a wired network or a wireless network, we are able to capture all of the packets, okay? So interface ETH0 -t for target and then IP of Windows 10, which is 10.0.2.7, and then the IP of router, which is 0.2.1. Done. Now it says ARP reply to this. Now let's open a new terminal and let's do vice versa. So ARP spoof hyphen I for interface, again ATS 0, then hyphen T, that is your target. This time target is router, so router IP, and then window 10 IP. Okay, now let's open one more terminal and type dsniff. Okay, so it says listening on ATS 0. Well, good. Now let's open new terminal and let's open Wireshark. Click OK. Again OK. Now here select the interface, which is ATS 0 in our case, and click on start. So Wireshark has started capturing packets, right? So here are all the requests made in our network, right? So this is how ARP spoofing actually works, and you can see that it's capturing on protocol ARP. Okay, this is the time, source and destination, right? And these are the other information, right? Now there is one more thing we have to do. Let's minimize this and let's open a new terminal, and we have to forward our port for IP version 4. So sys ctl -w net.ip version 4 .ip forward is equal to 1. 1 is used to enable IP forwarding. Okay, hit enter. Done. So this is the complete process of ARP spoofing. In the previous video we have seen how we can perform ARP spoofing, and now in this video we will going to see how we can perform ARP poisoning. So let's head up to applications and go to sniffing and spoofing and open this tool called as EtherCap graphical. So we are using this tool in order to perform ARP poisoning. Okay, now let's go to sniff, unified sniffing. ATS 0 is our interface, so hit OK. Now let's move to targets, current targets. Now in target 1, so target 1 is our router, so 10.0.2.1. let's add target 2, which is window 10, so 10.0.2.7. okay, now let's move to MITM and start ARP poisoning, right? Done. Okay, so this is how we can use EtherCap in order to perform ARP poisoning attack, right? But here in the list below you will see ARP poisoning victims are blank, so no worries, go to host, okay, and select scan for host. Okay, so see below it says scanning for merge target 2 host found. Okay, so it automatically adds the 2 victims on its own, right? Now let's go to MITM ARP poisoning, again select and hit OK. Done. Now let's go to terminal and perform TCP dump. Okay, again -i ATS 0, then -n, then our port which is 80, and then define host. So host would be our window 10. Done. So now you know how to perform ARP spoofing and ARP poisoning, right? Now in order to capture traffics, again just simply start Wireshark and start monitoring. That's it. In this lesson I will teach you how you can reset the Windows 10 user password, whether it is a standard user or an administrator. Now I know that I already teach you various different methods of password reset, or removing the password, or making an standard user an administrator without permissions, and we have extracted the original password, the exact password for the user. But now let's see one more different method. Okay, so first of all, shut down your PC, right? Open your favorite browser and type download boot CD. Okay, now either you can download it from this link, which is a legal way of downloading this software, and the boot CD ISO. Right, now open the first link, simply click here and the downloading will start. Right, so I have showed you both of the methods to download this, but I advise you to use the first one, which is a legal way, which is the ethical way. Okay, now after downloading the ISO file, simply go to the password, go to the CD or DVD ROM and attach the ISO file. Click on OK and let's start it. Now it will boot up the boot CD. See, there are so many options here. You can use it as a live XP. Then there are DOS programs, but the option which we are going to use is this one, offline password changer. Although it says that it supports Windows 7, it doesn't mention about Windows 8 and 10, but it still works on Windows 10 as well. So enter. Now here you have some different options like no USB to turn off USB if not used, okay, and so many others, right? But here you have to simply press enter, as it mentioned in the first line that press enter to boot. So hit enter and let's wait for the next options. Now here at the below you will see that it has found two different partitions, SDA1 and SDA2. So let's use SDA2. So simply type 2 at the last line and hit enter. Now it says, do you wish to force it? Yes. Registry directory, right? So you have to press enter here. Now here if you see at the bottom of the screen, you will find that it says select which part of registry to load. Okay, so here are three options. First, which says password reset from SAM system security. The second one is recovery console parameters, and the last one is quit, okay, to return to previous screen. So let's select the first option here. Now again it says edit user data and passwords, or you can press Q for quit. So let's select the first option again. Now here you will see it says that it defines the users, already created users on your system. Type the username, which is admin, and hit enter. Okay, now it says type 1 to clear user password, right, to set user password to blank, right. Second option is to add as well, like unlock the logged user or quit the process. So let's select the second option, which says edit or set a new user password. So hit enter. Now create new password here. So let me create a new password, which is 123. Now it says, okay, to quit simply type exclamation mark, okay, and hit enter. Now it says edit user, again so press Q for quit. It says about to write files back, do it. So Y, yes. It says you can try if it somehow failed, or you can select any wrong. New run. Select no here, which is the latest one, right? In the previous videos, we have seen how to use different tools and techniques in order to gain access to our target computer system. But in this lesson, we will see how to hack humans. Okay? And yes, I am talking about social engineering techniques. So, hacking a human mind is easier than hacking a computer system, right? So, there are some experts out there who claims that playing with human emotions in order to trick them to do what we want them to do is much easier than hacking into his computer system, right? So we will see the different methods of social engineering. So let's move to applications and go to social engineering tools and select social engineering toolkit, right? Now it says, do you agree to terms of service? Yes, we agree. So we will going to create a fake email, and we will also see how to create some phishing mails or fake websites, etc. Right? So social engineering toolkit is a very famous method of doing this. So I will select the first option, which says social engineering attacks, right? So there are various attacks out there, but we will see the first one for now. Okay. Now it's loading, so we have to, okay. So here are some other options, but we will use the fifth one, which says mass mailer attack. Okay. So in this video, we will going to use fake emails, right? So select 5. Now there are two options. First one is email attack for an individual. If you are targeting an individual person, then select the first one, and if you are targeting multiple, then use the second one. So for now I will go with the first option. Now it says send email to. So enter the email address of your target. So let's say target 001, okay, @gmail.com. okay. Now I don't know whether this email ID exists or not. I am just showing you for the purpose of demonstration. So enter. Now it says use a Gmail account for your email attack. Okay, that is from which account you want to send this email, right? Or if you have your own server, then you can use it as well. So I will go with the first option. Now it says your Gmail email address. See guys, I am not going to enter my real email address here, because in the next step it asks me for the real password. Okay. So let me give a fake email ID again. So hacker 007 @ let's say, okay, let's do one thing and let's type customer care team @Facebook, or should I say gmail.com. okay. So we pretend that we are from customer care team of Gmail. Okay. Now it says type the name from which you want to send email, and your target will able to see it. Okay. So let's give it a name, support team. Now it asks for email password. So type anything. Now it says, do you want to flag this message as high priority? Yes, we want. Do you want to attach a file? See, you can attach a malicious file here. Okay, but for now I select no. Again no. Now it asks for email subject. So let's say security alert. Send the message as HTML or plain. Now it says enter the body of the message and type end capitals when finished. Okay, so let's type your main message here. So let's suppose hello, then the name of your target. We found that someone is trying to access to your Gmail account. Kindly reset your password. The details are attached with this mail. Okay, something like that, and attach your malicious file there. So we are actually trying to trick our target to click on that malicious file, right? That malicious file could be anything, let's say your undetectable backdoor or etc. Okay, so next line of body, nothing, just type end in capital letters, right? Now let me stop this process. Okay, okay, because after pressing enter, this system will try to send an email to that email ID. Okay, it actually tries to send a real email there. Okay, so I have disconnected my computer system from internet connection because I don't want to send it an email because there is no email ID exist, right? So this is how we can use social engineering toolkits in order to create an fake email. In the previous video, we have seen how to create phishing email. Now in this video, we will see how to create malicious files. Okay, so that we can send this malicious file with our phishing email. So first of all, let's open the terminal, right? And now type command SE toolkit, that is social engineering toolkit, right? So again select the first option which says social engineering attacks. Now this time we won't select this option. Okay, we have done this in previous lesson. Now we will going to select the first option which says spear phishing attack vectors. So let's do that. Now it says the spear phishing module allows you to specifically craft email messages and send them to a large or small number of people with attached file format, which is a malicious payload. Okay, so you have three different options here, and we will select the second one which says create a file format payload. Now here is a list of all the payloads, and let's try this one which says Adobe PDF. Okay, so number 17. Now there are two options, either use your own PDF for attack, or you can use built-in blank PDF for attack. Okay, so for now let's select the second one, and here let's select this one. Okay, reverse TCP. So to enter, and let's wait. Now it asks you to enter either URL or your IP address. So let's do that, and this is the IP of my Kali. Now it asks for port, so yes, 443 is okay, so hit enter, right? So it has started listening to this IP address on 443 port number, right? Now the process has been completed and it says payload creation complete. All payloads are sent to the template PDF directory. Good. Now we have two options: keep the file, I don't care, or rename the file. So this time we will select the second one because it is a good idea to rename your file. Okay, so give it a new file name. Let's say security report. Okay, hit enter, and now it says what do you want to do. So email attack, single mail address or mass mailer. So select single email address. Right, now it asks you to use either predefined template or one time use email template. So select from the predefined email template. Now here are some pre-built email templates. So let's select this one which says status report, because if you remember in the previous lesson we pretend to be customer care team from Gmail, right? So it's a good idea to use the third one which says status report template. Right, now it asks to send email to. Okay, so enter the email address of your target. Right, now the rest of the process is same as I described in the previous video. Right, so I'm not going to do it again. Right, but if you want, go to the previous lesson, watch it again. Okay, in the previous video we have seen how to create malicious files. Okay, and now in this video we will see how we can create a malicious USB drive. That is, how to make your pen drive malicious using social engineering toolkit. So let's run SE toolkit. Now, as we done in the previous videos, select the first option, that is social engineering attacks. Let it load, and now this time we will going to select the third option which says infectious media generator. So 3, enter. Here you have two options: file format exploits and standard Metasploit executable. Okay, so we will select the second one, and here let's select this one which says Windows Meterpreter reverse HTTPS. If you remember, we have used this before in one of our previous videos. So 7, enter. Now it says IP address for the payload listener. So enter the IP of the attacker machine and enter the port for the reverse listener. So let's say 443. Now it's generating the payload, so we have to wait till the process gets completed. So the payload has been created and it says payload has been exported to this path which is /root. Okay, with the name payload.exe. Right, now what happened is it has created two different files for our USB drive. One is auto run, you can see it here, and the other one is Meterpreter. Okay, so now it says create a listener right now. Okay, yes. Now it will going to launch Metasploit framework console from here, that is MSF console. So now it says started HTTPS reverse handler here on port 443. Now it's up to you. You can change this port number to anything like 1234 or 5678, etc. Okay. Now the only job left is to attach your USB drive with your machine and copy your payload. Then take that pen drive and attach it on your target computer system, and it will automatically run and create a session for us. Okay. So that's it for this tutorial. In this lesson we will talk about website phishing. Okay, that is making a clone of a website like Facebook, Gmail, etc. So as always, run SE toolkit, and this time we will select the second option which says website attack vectors. Now we will select the third one which says credential harvester attack method, because we want to steal the credentials of our target. So 3. Now select the second option which says site cloner. Why? Because the second method will completely clone a website of your choosing and allow you to utilize the attack vectors. Okay, so second, and enter your IP address for the purpose of post back. Okay, so this is the IP of our Kali, so hit enter. Now it says enter the URL to clone. Okay, so enter your URL of the website which you want to make clone of. So www.facebook.com and hit enter, and it will create a clone of facebook.com for you. Then you have to share that link with your target. Then your target opens the link, and when he enters the information like username, password, then you will get them here on your screen. But there is one problem. For this purpose, you have to keep your PC on 24/7 until your target clicks on it and do rest of the work, right? So there is a better alternative to this. So open your browser and open a website which says zshadow.info. Okay, create an account with this, and this website will help you with phishing attacks. So it will going to create a clone for Facebook, Gmail, Instagram, etc. Simply create an account with them, and then they will provide you the link. Then share the link with your target. Now you don't need to log in until your target clicks on the link. Okay, you can log out and do your work, right? This website keeps your link live 24/7. So when your target clicks on the link and enter his information, user credentials, this website will record them for you, right? So you can use this website. So this is how you can perform website phishing. In the previous videos, we have seen how to create phishing mails, malicious files, and phishing websites, right? Now in this lesson, we will see how we can detect phishing attacks, because as a security expert, it is very important that you know how to detect whether a mail received contains some malicious files, or a website you are visiting is a phishing website or not. So it is very important to learn how to detect phishing attacks and how to prevent your own network from those attacks, right? So first of all, let's visit to toolbar.netcraft.com. So we are going to use a toolbar, that is a Firefox extension, because it will clearly mention us that if we visit a phishing website, it will show us a warning that hey, this website is a phish or you may be at risk, right? So let's download the Netcraft extension from here. Okay, we want for Firefox, so select Firefox. Okay, click on add to Firefox. Now Netcraft toolbar provides internet security services including anti-fraud and anti-phishing services, right? Select continue to installation. And Netcraft toolbar also provides application testing, code reviews, automated penetration testing, and research data and analysis on many aspects of the internet. Okay, so here it is, click on add. Okay, got it, done, right? Now whenever you visit any kind of website, let's say visit facebook.com. Okay, let the website open and simply click here, which is Netcraft toolbar. Now it says site report. risk rating 0 and it's showing the website in green. Okay, and here are some other website details. Okay, so I hope now you understand how to use Netcraft toolbar and how helpful it is, right? Now let's visit one more website, which is Z Shadow. Okay, I already told you about this website in the previous video. Still, it says risk rating 0 because this website itself isn't harmful, right? But you can create your account on this website to create some phishing pages, right? So that's it for this video. In the next lesson, we will see one other way of detecting the phishing websites and all. In the previous video, we have seen how we can use Netcraft toolbar in order to detect a website, whether it is a phish or not. But now in this lesson, we will see one very famous website called as phishtank.com. It would help us to detect whether a website, website we are visiting is a phish or not. Okay, so PhishTank is a free community site on which anyone can submit, verify, track and share phishing data. So PhishTank is a collaborative clearing house for data and information regarding phishing on the internet. Also, PhishTank provides an open API for developers and researchers to integrate anti-phishing data into their applications at no charge. Right? Now you can read more details of PhishTank here. Let's open this. Okay. So if you have any doubt that you have received a URL and maybe this URL has something wrong, so you can paste that URL here. Okay, so I have taken a sample URL just to show you how PhishTank website works, and simply click on is it a phish? So yes, this is 100% phish. Okay, so visiting this URL is a risk. So let's open this. See, it says deceptive site ahead. Okay, so this website is blocked by Firefox also. You can see details if you want. So I hope now you know how phishtank.com website works. Now let's talk about clearing tracks. Okay, so removing evidences is very important part, right? Because if you leave your footprints there, then it is easy for security experts to track you. Okay, so hackers mainly focus on clearing evidences or clearing footprints. Okay, so we will see how we can do it. First of all, it is very important to know that whenever you do any activity in your operating system, let's say you log into the system or you log out from there, or you do anything, your system creates some events, okay, some logs, and they are stored under different locations. Okay, it depends on the type of log, right? So there are security logs, there are application logs, etc. So we will see how we can find them and clear them. So first of all, let's open the command prompt. Okay, and we will use a command called audit poll. Okay, audit poll stands for audit policy, and if I hit enter, we will see different options available here to be used with this command. Okay, so let's see. Audit poll /get /category star. Star stands for all. Select all. See, here are a list of different logs. So, and these are divided under types and subtypes, right? you can scroll and see all of them here. Okay, now we can also use audit poll in order to clear all of these logs, and for this simply type slash and clear. Okay, hit enter. It says, are you sure? Press N to cancel or any other key to continue. Okay, so let's do that. It says the command was successfully executed. Now let's check it again and see. It says no logs remaining. Okay, no auditing, no auditing, no auditing. Okay, so this way you can detect different kinds of logs and you can clear them as well, right? So audit poll is the one way, okay, as it uses command prompt. Now let's see one other thing which is called as event viewer, right? So within the Windows operating system, the event viewer is an application that presents all application, security, setup and system logs within a single dashboard, right? So to access event viewer, simply hit window key with R. Okay, so window R and type event vwr.msc and hit enter, and let's wait for it to open. Now go to window logs, right? See, now you have all types of logs here, okay, and it has also mentioned number of events it recorded, and these are divided into different categories. Like the first one is for application logs, second one is for security, third is setup, then system, and then forwarded events. Okay, so to clear these, simply right click on this. Okay, here simply right click and select clear log. Okay, so these two are the easiest way to detect logs and clear them, right? So in this lesson we have learned how we can use audit poll and event viewer in order to access different kind of logs and to remove them. So after clearing tracks, the next important step and probably the last one is very important, that is report writing. Okay, so it is very important to generate reports because it will conclude all of your hard work, that what we have done, okay, what kind of tools and methods we have used and what kind of results we got. Okay, so it is very important. Report writing is very important part of ethical hacking. Now before preparing reports, you must plan for it. Okay, so planning is very important. Before report writing, you have to plan. Okay, and how you do that? Well, you have to consider your audience in mind. Okay, what type of your client, whether it is a technical person, okay, or non-technical, right? And you can consider his age, okay, and for what purpose he hired you, whether it is a operational purpose, okay, or whether it is a resource allocation purpose, right? So there are many different purposes that a client will hire you, right? So you have to keep in mind that what kind of person you are assigning your report to. So there may be different kind of person in management. Some of may understand technical terms and some may not. So you have to create a number of copies of your report, right? So for the person who are from non-technical background, there is no meaning of using technical terms. Okay, so you have to use some easy words, like you have to explain the direct impact of the security weakness to their business, right? How much loss they have to bear if they don't pay attention to remove the weakness or security weakness, right? So it is very important to keep in mind that what kind of person you are sending your report to, right? And you have also mentioned that how they can improve their security, okay, or how you can help them to improve their security, overall security, right? So once you done your planning, then start preparing your reports, okay, and once you complete it, then review your report again, okay, before submitting, right? And if you are the only one person preparing pen testing reports, then it is important that you can hire someone to proofread your reports, right? So before submitting, it is very important to review your reports, right? And once all done, then you are ready to send reports to the management. Now let's look at some sample pen testing report. So I have taken this report from offensivesecurity.com, and you can visit /report/sample pen testing report, okay? So this way you can write a report where first of all you have to mention executive summary, okay, that is summary of results. Then you have to mention attack narrative, right? What kind of attacks you have used, what kind of tool or what kind of commands you have used, and what kind of results you have got. So you have to attach screenshot, right? So here are a list of attacks, and then you have to mention conclusion, right? Any recommendations you want to give to your client or to your management. Then define risk rating, okay? So there is a proper system for risk rating, that is CVSS. We will talk about it a bit more later, but first of all you have to mention vulnerability detail and mitigation, okay? So let's see this report. So after summary, see, as we have used this command NSLOOKUP, okay, so you have to take a screenshot of this to explain it to the management that, hey, I have used this command NSLOOKUP, and what this command does is you have to explain in 1 or 2 lines, okay, and then what kind of result you have got, okay? So you have to mention complete details starting from using a command or using a tool, and then how that tool works or what actually it does and the result you got, okay? And as a proof you can attach a screenshot, or even you can record a video as well, right? And you can also draw a diagram to explain management that what a situation would be, okay? So this way you can explain management in very detail, right? Okay, so this way you can create a basic penetration testing report. Now let's talk about risk rating. I told you about CVSS, right? So what it is? So CVSS stands for Common Vulnerability Scoring System, okay? It provide your vulnerability a numerical number, okay, starting from 0 to 10. If risk rating is 10, it means it is a very critical weakness. You have to pay immediate attention towards it, right? So as you can see, CVSS provides a way to capture the principal characteristics of a vulnerability and produce a numerical score reflecting its severity, right? So it goes from 0 to 10, okay? Now I hope you know how you can create a sample penetration testing report, okay? You can visit this report by visiting this URL, okay? So this is a sample penetration testing report which you have to make once you done your pen testing, right? And after that you have to provide risk rating to each output, okay? Suppose you have got 3 different kind of weaknesses in your client network, right? So you have to define that which is okay to leave for now and which one we have to focus right now, okay? So it depends on 0 to 1 risk rating, okay? So 0 to 10, actually 0 to 10. So it defines by 0 to 10 as vulnerability risk ratings. So here are your CVSS scores, okay? So if it was 0, which means none, and 0.123.9, which means the vulnerability risk rating is low, okay? and if above 4 to 6.9 it is medium, and then 7 to 9 it is high, and then above 9 it is very critical, right? So this way, by using this table, you can define your risk rating in reports, right? Let's start our practical by creating a very basic virus. Okay, now some of you might already know about this, but as an instructor I have to teach everything right from basics. Okay, so first of all, remember that perform any practical into the virtual machine only, okay, and not on your main machine. So here is my virtual machine, which is Windows XP. Now let me open the command prompt. Okay, so let's change the path to desktop. So cd desktop, cd stands for change directory. Okay, so cd desktop. Now if I want to create a folder on desktop, I will use md, that is make directory space, then the name of the directory, let's say virus. Okay, hit enter, right? So you can see the virus directory has been created on my desktop. Now if I have to create another folder into this directory, then I will use cd virus and then again md virus. Okay, now again if I want to create a folder inside the subfolder, I will use cd virus and then md virus. Okay, and so on. So what is actually happening, that I am creating a folder inside a folder. Okay, so if we want to do the same thing into our target system, it is not possible for us to access that system and then run these kind of commands again and again. Okay, so for this we can create a virus. Okay, so let me open notepad first. Okay, let's create a basic file. Okay, a normal text document. Okay, and let's see how we can perform this. So md virus, first of all let me increase the size of the fonts. Okay, to 20 or maybe even more. Okay, so md virus and then cd virus and then md virus and then again cd virus. Okay, so it's not an easy task to perform or to use these commands again and again. Okay, so what we can do is we can create a loop. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. First of all, at the very first line we have to create the point of remembrance. Okay, so we can type anything we want. Okay, so let me type xyz. Okay, it doesn't matter what you type here. Then comes the command which is make directory virus and then change directory virus, and now we will type go to. That means once you finish performing these two commands, then go to xyz, means go again to the first, which is point of remembrance. Okay, then perform these commands again and then go to first. So we have actually created a loop. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, to save as, and we want to save it on desktop, and the name of the file would be virus.bat. Okay, click on save, close the file, and you can see here. Okay, actually it's a batch file. Okay, which is denoted by .bat. So whenever we run this file into our target system, something is going on here. Okay, actually it is running all the commands that we have mentioned in the file, right? Now after some time it will close automatically, right? But for now let me minimize this. Okay, first let it complete, it will auto close. Okay, so remember one thing, first of all we have to delete our old folder with the same name. Okay, and now let's run it. Now the process is completed and we have got our virus folder. See, this is the new folder created by the virus. So let's try to open this. Now it has created a lot of folders and it would never end. Okay, see. So this is the very basic method of creating a virus using a patch. In this video, we will see how we can make our virus a little bit more dangerous. Okay, but before, let me tell you something. You must know that there are many folders which are with the same name in all the versions of Windows. Okay, for example, if I go to my computer and then C drive, I will find a folder Windows. Okay, now this folder is common in all the versions of the operating system till Windows 10. Okay, and as you can see, the size of this system, okay, or this folder is 1.28 GB. Okay, so let's do something and let me edit the coding of my virus. Simply add a single line which says copy, then C Windows. Now what will happen when our virus gets executed? It will first create a folder with the name virus, then it will move into the virus folder and then it will copy the complete Windows folder there. Okay, and then again it will repeat the same process. So in a single loop it will eat around 1 GB of space from your hard disk. Okay, and it will continue to do so until and unless you found it and close it, right? So you can imagine how much damage it will occur when it will going to run around 30 minutes or maybe 1 hour. Okay, so that way it will eat up your hard disk space and will be using a lot of your resources. That makes your computer system very slow. Okay, so actually now it becomes worms. Okay, although it is harmless, but still it eats up the space from your hard disk and will use a lot of your resources. Okay, so simply save the file and exit. Now if I run the virus here on the desktop, then it's very easy for the target to find it and he will close the process. But what if I copy this virus, okay, into anywhere deep in your system, let's say on this folder? Okay, now it's hard for a user to find this virus, okay, or worm in order to close it. Okay, now it's been approximately around 10 seconds and let me close this. See, in just 10 seconds you can see that it has copied a lot of data into this folder. Okay, now I know it's not approximately 1 GB, but it's something just in 10 seconds. Okay, now just imagine what would happen if you do the same in Windows 10. Okay, you must know that in Windows 10 the Windows folder inside the C drive is approximately 20 to 25 GB of size. Okay, so in just one loop, imagine what would happen. Okay, how much damage a worm cause just in one loop if you perform the same for Windows 10. Okay, and it will work because the name of the folder is same in all the operating systems, right? So this is about worms. Now let's create one more virus. Okay, so this one is our existing virus, so let's edit the coding. Simply type assoc space dot exe is equal to xyz. Okay, now first let me tell you what would happen if we run the virus. Okay, first see the icon of this exe file, and now let me run the virus. Okay, done. See, the icon has been changed. Okay, and what else changes? If I try to open command prompt, it will not work. Okay, in the same way, if I try to run calc command, which is for calculator, it will not work, right? So why my Windows command are not working? Okay, now let me tell you, if you want to open any text file, okay, so you need a software, right? If you want to open a PDF file, you will need PDF reader. Okay, in the same way, if you want to open a RAR file, you will need a software like WinRAR. Okay, so this way, if you want to open a kind of a file, you will need the associated software, right? Or a file which already exists in your computer. Okay, so ASOC stands for association, and for the .exe files, we need a file called exe file. Okay, so this is associated with all the .exe things. Okay, so if you want to open .exe, your computer will search for a file, exe file. Okay, and only then it will open the setup for you. Okay, so I replaced exe file with xyz. So whenever you try to open this kind of setups, your window will search for the xyz file first. Okay, and there is no file with the name xyz, right? That's why it is not opening this. So simply replace it with the original. Let me save it. Let's run it, and now you can see the software is not corrupted, okay, or recovered. Now let's try to open calc. See, it worked. Now again, if you try to open command prompt, it will work, right? Because the association file, which is exe file, now exists. Okay, so what we have done is we have simply changed the associated file with something else which does not exist on your computer system, right? So this is also another kind of a virus. Now let's create another virus. Okay, and let me edit the coding of our existing virus. So xyz, but first you must know that in order to open any application in Windows, you will run a command called start. Okay, that way you can start that particular software. Suppose start calc will start the calculator. Okay, now let's create a virus. So xyz start calc, start notepad, start wordpad, and then go to xyz. Okay, just save it, and now let's see what would happen when the target runs this virus. Okay, see, it's actually a loop, okay, which is running continuously. Now if I try to close CMD, so I have to close it from here, okay, from the taskbar, right? So let me close it. Done. Okay, so this way the loop has been started, and until and unless we intercept and close it, it will keep on creating this thing again and again. Okay, so it's a loop, right? Now let me close all of these. Okay, so let's close it from here, from bottom. Okay, close group. Okay, so it's a basic virus, that's why a user is able to close it. Now let's see how we can make this virus a little bit more advanced so that the user is unable to stop it. Okay, Now before we move towards the advanced version of virus, first let's see some more examples. Okay, so let's edit the coding. Now this time we want our target to see a message which is you have been hacked. Okay, save it and let's see what will happen. So our target computer, okay, or our target user will able to see a message on his screen called as you have been hacked. When I click on OK, the message will disappear. Okay, nothing more happened. Now let's create a loop. Okay, and let's see what difference it will make. So first let's create the point of remembrance which is XYZ. Okay, and then go to XYZ, just save it and now let's run it. Okay, you can see a lot of messages have been created on the command prompt, but on your screen you will able to see only single message. Okay, now let's close it. As soon as you click on OK or you want to close this message, the another message will pop up. See? Now, how it is different from others? If I try to log off from this current session and when I reach to my login screen, still I am able to see the same message. See? The message won't disappear. Okay? So if I click OK, I will get another pop-up. Again, if I try to close it, it will get me another message, right? So what's the best way to close it permanently? The best way is just to restart your computer system. Okay. Simply restart it. Okay. And let me pause the video for the time it being restarted. Our system has been restarted. So let's switch it to Windows XP. Now let's see what else we can do. Okay. First let's remove this. Now if I type md and then %random%. Now what would happen when I run the virus? So it will create a folder with some random number. Okay, you can see it's a random number, right? So let's delete this and now let's create a loop. Again, create the point of remembrance. Now go to XYZ. Okay. Now we will run this virus for approximately 10 seconds. Okay, and not more than that. Okay, so now let me close it. See, you will not able to see any of the folder on our desktop. Okay, but as soon as I close the command prompt, okay, you will see a hell lot of folders created on our desktop, right? Now if I select some of them and if I try to delete them permanently, okay, and if I refresh, okay, simply wait it because the virus has made my computer a little bit slow and you can see the new folders here. Okay, so if I delete them again, okay, and try to refresh my desktop, you will see new folders in place of the earlier one which we have deleted. Okay, see how slow is my system begins after this virus. Okay, so how to delete them? Simply use Ctrl A to select all of the files and folders, but deselect our own folders, okay, and type shift plus delete. See, in just 10 to 15 seconds, it has created more than 5,000 empty folders on our desktop. Now just imagine what would happen if the user fails to detect the virus and fails to stop the loop. In that case, in just 1 hour, his Windows XP or any other operating system will be too slow. Okay. So see how much time it's taking just to delete empty folders. Okay. And remember, we have only run the virus for 10 to 15 seconds, right? Now in the next lesson, we will see how we can create the advanced version of a virus, and then we will learn about Trojans, and at last I will tell you how to protect your own system from all these kind of attacks. In this video, we will going to create the advanced version of a virus. Okay. So this is our simple virus. First of all, let's find out what are the signs or what are the things that makes it a virus. Okay. And how a victim will understand that it is a virus. So there are 4 5 important things. The first is the icon of this virus. You can see this is a batch file icon. Okay. Then the next is the name, which is virus.bat. Okay, so .bat is a batch file. Again, if we right click on this, we will see the option of edit. Okay, which helps a user to find out the coding behind it, right? And the last is when we execute it, we will see the command prompt, right? So these are some of the signs which helps identify a user that it is a virus, right? Okay, so first let me pause the video and I will remove all of these empty folders. Now we need a software called bat to exe converter. Okay, and we need one more thing. Let's say icon of any genuine software. So here I am using VLC icon. Okay, now how to download these? Just visit the internet and open the website, find icons, okay, and search for VLC. You can see this much of icons. Select anyone, and remember one thing, do not download the PNG version or the ICNS version. Simply click on download ICO file. Okay, now the next is bat to ext converter. Okay, so right now I am using version 3. Okay, and this is a 32-bit software because I am using Windows XP. That's why I am using this software. And remember one thing, whenever you create any application of 32-bit, then it will work on both 32-bit and 64-bit versions of Windows, right? Now you might be thinking that why I am creating these viruses on Windows XP, because the process is same in Windows 10 as well. Okay, so if the virus is working in Windows XP, it means it will also work in Windows 10. Let me show you an example. Okay, let me simply create a file for you. So md secret cd secret. Okay, and just save it on the desktop with the name virus.bat. Okay, click on save. Now let's run it. See, the folder has been created. Okay, so if the virus is working on Windows XP, it will also work on Windows 10. Okay, so let's switch back to our virtual machine and let's install the software. Accept the agreement, the location, name, and create a desktop shortcut. Okay, so done. Now let's launch it. So here is the interface of bat to exe converter version 3. See, if we have not if we do not have a virus, okay, then we can create one using the new tab, right? But now we have, so we go to open and we click on virus. So the coding has been opened here, okay. So let me change this coding to something else like md secret cd secret. Done. Okay, just save it. Done. Now here you can see the three different options, okay. So let's start with the first one. It says select the icon, okay, select the exe file icon. So recently I told you that we have downloaded this one, so let's select this. Then it says whether you want user to ask password at the time of the installation of your virus in victim's computer, okay. No, we don't, okay. And the working directory will be current directory. Then the format which says 32-bit console, which is visible, okay. So what does this mean? See, whenever we run a virus, we see a command prompt, right? So if you don't want to see that, simply select 32-bit Windows invisible, okay. And if you are creating this for 64-bit operating system, then select the last option. Okay, so let's proceed with this. Now it says UAC. Okay, it is a security feature which Windows has introduced at the time of Windows Vista and on the all the higher versions. Okay, this feature is not available in Windows XP. Okay, so we will check this option which says request administrator privileges. Okay, what does this mean? See, whenever you try to install any software into your computer system, you will see a pop-up, okay, asking that this software want to make changes into your computer system. So do you want to continue or not? So whenever we say yes, only then we are able to install the software, okay. That's why we want our virus to look genuine. That's why we are checking this option. Also, if you do not check this option, your virus will not run, okay. But for now I can do this because I am doing this in Windows XP. Now it says extract to current directory, okay. So leave all other options to default, right? Now we will not do anything with embedded, and on this which says version information, okay, we have to enter all this information here, okay. Now what is this? See, whenever you install antivirus into your computer system and you scan your computer system, okay, then the antivirus will scan for all the files, okay. And if it finds any doubt about any file, then it will check its help section, okay. Now let me tell you what is help section. So let's open notepad and go to help and then about notepad, okay. So the antivirus will check this file, okay, all this information, that who is the manufacturer, what is the license version, okay, and when it was made, right. So antivirus will check all of these things, okay. Now in our virus we want to look it genuine, right. So just copy all this information from any one genuine software and simply paste it, okay. Simply copy all the information from a genuine software and type it here, right. That way antivirus would fail to detect this as a virus, right. Now once you complete all these things, simply click on run, okay. But before running we have to convert it, right. So let's convert it first. Give it a name. Let's say, okay, let's go with VLC. Okay, click on save. Okay, let's close it. Now you can see here that this is the VLC setup file. Okay, this is the executable file which a user think is a media player, okay, and not our virus. So let's check it. See, the icon is of a VLC player, okay. The file is with .exe extension. If we right click, we have no option of edit here, so that we are unable to see the codings behind it, right? And when you click on open, you will not going to see the command prompt, right? Okay, so this is how we can create a virus, right? And one more thing, the victim is unable to find out what is actually happening, okay, because he will not see any sign of a virus. But as you can see here, it has created a folder with the name secret, okay, again secret, again secret, again secret, right? So virus is working in the background, but a user is unable to find it out. So you have learned about viruses. Now let's talk about trojans, which is also known as rat. RAT. Okay, rat means remote administration tool. Okay, so it is actually a part of a malware which once installed into a victim's PC, it will give us the complete access to that system. Okay, and there is no need to hack that system again and again. Just install it once and access for the lifetime until and unless the victim know, and it will remove it, right? So first of all, let's understand the concept, and then we will perform the practical. We will see how it actually works and how to create one. Okay, now the concept of trojan is come from the movie called Troy. Okay, so let's understand this with an example. Suppose there are three people, A, B and C. Okay, then B and C wants to kill A for some personal issues, right? But A has implied a strong security that no one can enter into his house without his permission. Okay, no matter what B and C does, they are unable to enter into A's house. Okay, but B knows that A likes to receive gifts from strangers. Okay, so B has purchased a box, hidden himself with a gun inside that box, and then wrap it up as a gift. Okay, then A thinks that there is a gift for him, so he allowed the gift to enter into his house. Okay, so he opens the door, takes the gift and then close the door. Okay, but when A sleeps at night, B opens the box from inside and then open the door for C. Okay, and then B and C together killed A. Okay, so this is the concept for trojans. It will be the same. Okay, so whenever you want to download any free game or any free antivirus program, you never know that there is some malicious code inside that. Okay, so you think you are installing a free antivirus program got from a friend or from any unauthorized website. Okay, or you have downloaded any licensed game for free. Okay, you have downloaded the crack version, but you never know that there is some malicious code inside that. Once you install the antivirus, the virus will get installed in the background in your computer system and will open the door for the hackers. Okay, it is automatically created a backdoor for hacker. Now hacker will have the full control of your system and you will never know. Okay, so now in the next video we will see how it actually works. In this video we will see the very first trojan officially introduced in 2002. Okay, so here it is. The name is Beast. So first let me extract the files here. It requires password. Click OK. Done. Now let's open it. Now you can see two windows here. This one is for statistics. Just close it and focus on this one. Okay, so let's see how we can create a file. So first of all we have to click on the build server. I hope you all know about server and clients. Okay, for example, if I am accessing facebook.com, then Facebook is the server and I am the client who is accessing, right? So we are actually creating a server file which is a file for the victim, okay, and then we will connect with him as a client. Okay, so click on build server. Okay, here you can see some of the features. Let's talk about the direct connection first. Direct connection is when you know the victim's IP address, okay, and in most of the cases it is not possible, right? So we will go with the second option which says reverse connection. Okay, reverse connection means, first of all, if you want to go with the reverse connection, you must have a dedicated IP. Okay, you must have a valid static IP. Only then you can proceed with the reverse connection, right? So what is reverse connection? Reverse connection means whenever the user will install this Trojan into his computer, then his computer will demand a connection with our computer, okay, with the hacker's computer. So the request is coming from the victim side, right? Now there are two IP addresses, one is private and the other is public. So if your target is in the same network as you are on, then you can go with the private IP. But if not, and internet is the only connection between you and your target, then you can go with the public IP. Okay, so let's see the other options as well. First of all, let's understand what we are doing. Okay, so suppose there are two friends A and B. Okay, so A came to B and asked him for the antivirus program. Now B told him that he doesn't have any, but he can create one, right? So you have to wait for some time. A agrees because A know that B is a technical guy, right? So what B is doing, B came and opened the Beast software, okay, which is a rat, and start creating a Trojan. Okay, so the next step is to go with notifications. Okay, here you can enter the IP address of our own system, okay, of hacker system. Either you can check on this option which says get IP, or you can type it manually, right? So to know the IP address, simply go to the command prompt and type the command ipconfig. Okay, so we will get our IP address, right? Now click on save server. The server has been saved. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's see some more options like startup. Okay, so it means, startup means, do you want to make changes to the registry of a target machine? Okay, so whenever this file will executed in the target system, it will automatically make changes to the registry, Windows registry, okay, and will put this file into the startup, which means whenever victim start or restart his computer system, our file will automatically starts as soon as he sees the desktop. Okay, so the file is already running behind, okay, in the background. Then comes the AVFW kill. Now this feature is not working on the latest version of Windows. Okay, AV stands for antivirus, FW means firewall. So antivirus firewall kill, this function is not working today. Okay, so let's leave it. Then comes the miscellaneous tab, leave it to defaults. Then the last option is exe icon. So for example, A ask B for an antivirus program. Okay, so B will add an antivirus icon to his file. Okay, now select the file, click on save server. Okay, so our file is ready to use now, right? So click on save, give it a name, let's say Kaspersky, okay, and 1.0.9.0. okay, so it is the version. We are doing this just to make it look like a genuine. Okay, so let's close it and let's focus on the rest of the things, right? Okay, so now let's open the file that we have created, which is by default in the beast folder. Here it is, okay, with the name server. First of all, let me paste it on the desktop. Okay, done. Now let's change the name to Kaspersky version 2.3.0. okay, and done. Now all we have to do is just transfer this to the victim's computer. For example, B will give it to A saying that it is an antivirus program. Now A will take it and then he will install it on his own computer system. So again, let's move towards the victim PC. Here it is, okay. Now I am using Windows XP because all the features of the beast Trojan will work with XP only, okay. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work on the higher versions. It will still work, but not all the functions will work properly, right? Some of them will work for sure. So we will also see how we can create our own Trojan using some codings, okay, and we will use them in the higher version. So don't worry about that. Let's focus on this. Simply create a folder, okay, because we want to transfer files, right? And let's share it. Go to sharing, click on share this folder with a name. Let's say share 123, allow, apply and OK. Done. Now let's check the IP address of this. So IP config, hit enter. Let's access this from here. Now let's copy the antivirus program. Done. Okay. So now A got the antivirus from B and he installed it into his computer system. Okay. Now see, as soon as he double click on it, the icon will be disappeared. Okay. Now it is not an easy task to find it, right? For A. Now the PC of A is trying to connect with the hacker system, okay? So it is sending request. Now to accept the request, we click on start listening, okay? It says unblock, okay? Done. See, it says a new victim is available, right? Now simply double click on it to connect with that computer. Done. Okay. Now let's see the features and what can hacker do with your computer system once he successfully installed Trojan into your PC. So let's find out. First, managers. We have files, which means he can browse files. Just click on find drives, C drive. You can simply click on program files. You can go to messenger, okay, and you can read all the files on the target PC. The next is registry. You can edit the registry. Then comes the screen, which means you can share the remote desktop, okay. So you can see the live screen here. Just click on start. Okay, it says install some plugins. Select all. Click on upload. Upload finished. Now close it and click on start again. See, now we are able to see the screen of the victim's PC. Okay, you can increase or decrease the size of this screen if you want. Let's close it for now. Then comes the webcam. You can open the webcam of a victim. Then come the apps, then processes. Okay, so whatever process is running on that, you can see them and you can also kill it. Okay, the same is with the services. Then comes the clipboard. Now what is clipboard? Suppose the victim is typing something, okay, let's say my Swiss bank account number is something, okay, then he copies the text. He don't save the file because he need that data. So now the text is in clipboard, so we can see that. See, here it is, right? Now we can also change it. Just lock it, go here, and instead of Swiss bank simply type something like XYZ, okay, then set text, unlock, okay. As soon as you click on set text, you can see if the victim tries to paste that copied content, it has been changed, right? So you can do a lot of things here. Let's see what other features are there. So there is passwords, you can see the passwords, okay, of whatever network he has connected. Then comes the window. You can hide all the icons of a victim's PC if you want. See, all the icons have gone, okay. Now you can crash his PC, okay, and the system will restart. You can power off, you can reboot, you can shut down, and you can even log off your victim's computer, right? See how harmful a Trojan is. Now let's come to lemma stuff. You can hide icons, even you can hide tray, you can hide the start button, you can disable the tray, you can lock the mouse, you can hide the clock, you can also swap. Now what is swap? If you click this, and if you see in the here, when you press the right click, it will work as a left click, okay. I am talking about the mouse. Then comes the fun stuff like hiding mouse, locking his CD drive, or even you can visit a website. If you click on go to URL and if you type something like www.google.com and click on OK, you can see a website page is open on the victim side, okay. Now you can change the wallpaper, you can even chat with him, right? Then comes the server. Now server is the file that we have sent to user, this file, okay. So you can update this file if you want, you can even close the file, you can kill the file, okay, and then there is information about the file, okay. So you can do whatever you want. Then comes the miscellaneous, which is scanner, messages, run apps, keylogger, system time. You can change the system time of victim computer from here, okay. Keylogger means recording the keystroke. Now let's see how we can create our own Trojan by using a programming language called as Python. Now don't worry if you don't know about Python, I will teach you a fraction of it which is required for this course. But before we proceed, first you have to understand the complete process. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me create two computers. Okay, so the first is for hacker and the other is for target. So this one is a hacker's machine or attacker machine, and this one is the victim's PC, right? And we can also call target PC as a server and hacker PC as a client. Now the very first thing which we have to do is to create two important files, one for each. Okay, so here is the hackers Python file which is h.py. Now always remember, whenever you create a file using Python, you will always see extension .py. Okay, now before we proceed further, first you have to understand what are ports. Okay, so there are two types of ports, hardware and software. So hardware ports are like USB, LAN, etc. And then comes the software, which are HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, which is file transfer protocol, etc. Now the total number of ports are 65,535. Okay, so we will use one of it, right, in order to perform the attack. And at most, on an average daily basis, a normal person will use approximately 20 to 25 ports only. Okay, these are just approximate values. Now you must know that whenever you try to access a web page, suppose facebook.com, then this page doesn't exist on your PC, right? But it will exist somewhere else. Okay, so as you can see, using the HTTPS port, we are accessing this web page. S stands for secure. Okay, so there is some point from which this page will coming to your system, right? So that entry point, that interaction point where two devices will connect to each other is called port. Done. Now let me first delete this. Okay, so first of all, what should we write in these two files? Okay, let me tell you one by one. Okay, so in server's Python file, the very first instruction which we will write would be, let's say, open port 625. Okay, which means as soon as you are being run on any PC, okay, in this case it's a target PC, so the very first thing which you have to do is to open a port 625, right? So in our case, suppose it has opened the port. Now here in this file, okay, the first instruction which we will write is, and remember one thing, when it opened the port 625, okay, as soon as it opened the port, it starts listening to it. Okay, so the start listening is the second step. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. Now the very first instruction for this file would be try to connect to this PC. Okay, so let's assign the IP address to this one, and suppose the IP address for this PC is 10.0.0.8. okay, and the IP for this PC is 10.0.0.9. okay, so now we will give some instructions like try to connect to 10.0.0.8. okay. So now the very first step is hacker will also open the same port, which is 625. Then it will try to connect with the same port in server or in target's PC. Okay. Now once completed, okay, it will give the confirmation message. Okay. Here is the text box. Now it confirms the connection by sending a message to hacker. Okay. And any message, it could be like you have been connected or welcome to target PC. Okay. Done. Now it will, okay, it would again send a new message saying that I am ready to follow your orders. Okay. It would send two messages. So the first one will receive, there are two things which is happening on the hacker's PC. Okay. The first one is it will receive the message and then it will print the message. Okay. And it would do the same thing for the other message as well. Okay. The same thing, first it would receive and then it will print, right? Now when all this process completed, the next step is the hacker's PC will send a command to target PC saying that execute this command. Okay. And command would be anything XYZ. Okay. The command we have to create, right? Now the target PC would accept the command and would run it. Okay. So run the command and it would also send us the confirmation. Okay. It would send us what would happen after running the command, right? Then again hacker's PC receive the command, receive the message and then print it for us. Okay. So this is a complete process which actually we are going to do, right? So we are going to create two files, one for each PC, and then we will perform the attack in a virtual environment, right? I have two virtual machines. Okay. And we have to install Python on both of these. First of all, let me check. One of it has already installed Python, so Python. Okay. So this virtual machine has already have Python. Now let's proceed with the other one. Okay, so I have the setup of Python 3.7.0. Now if you don't know how to get this, let me tell you, just open your browser and simply type download Python, hit enter. You will get the website at the top. Here it is, python.org/downloads. Now the latest version is 3.9.6. okay, and I am running 3.7. that doesn't matter. Let's proceed. Let me install it first. So this is actually a installation of Python on Windows 10. Click on run. Select install now. Okay, just leave all the options to the default. And now let's wait for it to complete the process. Okay, so Python has been installed successfully. Now let's fire the command prompt and let's try to run Python. You will see an error which says it is not recognized as an internal or external command. Okay. Now if you want to use Python through CMD, first we have to set the path. Okay. So let's see how to do it. First of all, let's go to my computer. Okay, that is not here. So let me add the icon on the desktop. Okay, now let's move to this PC and then C drive, then users, then window 10. Now here it contains a hidden folder with a name app data. Okay, so it is invisible. Simply hit enter and you will see. Now click on local and then programs, Python 37. Done. Now let's copy the path. Okay, and let's do one thing. Let's open notepad and paste here. Now we need one more path, so let's go to scripts. Let's copy it as well, paste here. Okay, now let's move towards the properties and then advanced system. Go to environment variables. Here is the path. Let's edit it. Simply move at the end of this, add a semicolon and paste the first line. Okay, this one. Simply copy it and paste there. Again, copy the second path. Paste it as well by adding a semicolon. Done. Click on OK. Again OK. That's it. Now let's close this. Open command prompt again. Let's try to run Python and you will see it worked, right? Now if you try 5 plus 5, it would give you the output. Okay, so we have successfully installed Python on Windows 10 and now we will start coding our Trojan. Right now I am using two virtual machines. The first one is Windows 10 and the second is Windows 10 clone. Okay, so we will use Windows 10 clone as a victim's PC, okay, target PC, and the attacker machine, that is a hacker's PC, would be Windows 10. Okay, now let's create the two Python files, one for each. So first let's go to the target PC, okay, and see Python is installed right now. Okay, now let's check the same with the attacker PC. Again Python is installed. How do I know? cmd and then Python, hit enter. Done. Okay, now we will create the Python file for attacker's machine first. So let me create a text file. Okay, and let's type the coding here. So I am using Python, so import socket. Now socket is the name of the library which we need for this practical. Okay, now in Python there are a lots of library, which means they are already coded for some specific reasons. Like you will see specific libraries for networking purpose, you will see so many libraries for AI purpose. So they are already created modules. Okay, we just have to import them and then we will use it, right? So import socket, then c is equal to, c is a variable, so c is equal to socket dot socket function. Okay, which means we need socket function from the socket library, okay, and we are defining a variable which is C. Now comes the IP address, okay. Now here we have to type IP address in single quotes and the IP address of target PC, okay. So first of all, let's move towards the target PC and let's check its IP address. So IP config is the command to check the IP address. Here it is 10.0.2.7, okay. So let's type it here, 10.0.2.7, done. And at last we will use variable dot connect, then the IP address, comma 9999, okay, which means we want to connect to this IP address at this port, okay. So it will open port for us on our own PC, okay. Now let's move towards the target PC and then we will create a file for it as well. Now we are in target PC. How do you know? Simply see here, Windows 10 clone, okay, and clone is our target PC. Now let's create a text file here, okay. Let me do one thing first, just save it, okay. Click on file, click on save as, and then the name of the file, suppose let's say hacker.py. now just save it and remember one thing, I have typed this code in notepad, okay, in simple notepad, but if you want to try this you always use notepad++, okay. Let me close it, done. Here is our Python file, okay. Now let's move towards the victim's PC, okay. Again new text document, let's type import socket, enter, variable is equal to socket dot socket function, same as earlier. Now we will type s dot bind, okay, IP address of this same machine of the target PC, okay, of its own PC, 10.0.2.7, then port number, okay, port number will be same for both of this, right. So now we are saying that create a socket and open the port 9999 on this IP address, okay, on our own IP address. Now we will use as.listen 1. Now listen means we open the port and we will wait for the connection request to be received, okay, and 1 stands for a single request at a time. You can increase this number if you want. Now print the message while waiting. Let's say waiting to be connected, or you can type waiting for the request or waiting for the connection, etc. Okay. Now while true, remember one thing, while is a loop, okay. So we want if the condition is true then do the job, okay, do this job. Now the condition is always true, so it will run again and again to n number, okay. Now T would be capital here, then we use C address, okay. Let me remove this. See, I have copied a code from my existing file and I have pasted it here. So these 2 lines are extra because I already typed this. I want to be sure that no mistake is made, okay. So we will say s.accept means whenever you receive request from here, just accept it, okay, and then print the message that connected with address and the port number, okay, that connected with this PC, okay. So we will see how this actually works. Just go to file, click on save as, and now let's save it as a target.py. Just save it, and now we will run the file first on the victim's PC. So again, command prompt, let's change the location to desktop, run the Python file. So how would you run a Python file? Simply type python space the name of the file, which is target. See, it says waiting to be connected, right? So it has opened the port and is listening. So let's move towards the hacker PC. Now let's run the file in command prompt. So cd desktop, cd stands for change directory to desktop, then python space name of the file, which is hacker. Okay, we got an error. Let's check it out. So edit, okay, here it is. Here we have to use IP only, okay, as we have defined IP address here. So IP and then the port number. Let's save the file with the name hacker2.py. Now you can directly edit the Python file if you want. As I told you earlier, always use Notepad++. So now let's try to run hacker2, okay, and done. The file has been run successfully. Now let's go to target machine again, and we will see it says connected with this IP address on this port number, okay. So we have connected to the hacker's PC successfully. If you want, you can verify. Just check this IP address 10.0.2.15 and let's verify it here by using ipconfig here, okay, and done. Now in the next video we will see what we can do more with this Trojan. We have seen how to create and execute a Trojan. Now let's move towards the next step, which is sending a data, right? So as you can see on your screen, on the left side we have the hacker's PC, okay, and on the right side we have the victim's PC, okay. So first we will give some instructions to the target PC. So let's open with Notepad. Let me increase the size. Okay, now let's add the new instruction here, which is c.send. We are actually sending some data, some message, okay. So C stands for the socket of the hacker's PC, okay, and send is to send the data. Now bracket open, here we type bytes because in computer we will send the data in bytes, okay. Then we have to type the message. Let's say welcome to target PC, okay. Message completed. Now we cannot send this message in the plain text, right? So we have to encode it first. So we will use a encoding method called UTF-8, okay. Now close the brackets and save the file. That's it, okay. So we have added a new instruction to the target PC, okay, to the Python file of the target machine. Now let's close it and move towards hacker's PC, okay. So let's edit the hacker.py file. Again let's open with Notepad. Now here we have to add two instructions. Okay, first let me increase the size. Okay, first we will see, first we will receive the data, that's the first instruction, and the second instruction would be to print the data that we have received, right? So here we type data is equal to receive. Okay, then we will set the maximum limit, okay, or the maximum size for the data which we want to receive. Okay, so if I type 2000, so these are in bytes format, which means 2 KB of data. It means the maximum we can receive 500 of characters at a time. Okay, so the size in the bytes, 2000 bytes. Okay, and one character require 4 bytes. Okay, so dot decode, first receive it and then decode the data. Okay, so we will use decode function. Now we will print the data that we have received on our socket. Okay, so semicolon to execute it. Okay, let me type C dot here. Okay, because we receive the data onto the socket. Now let's save the file and close it. Now let's run the file first on the victim's PC as we have done earlier. So Python, okay, first cd desktop, and now Python target.py, hit enter. See, it says waiting to be connected. Now let's run the hackers file. So cd desktop Python and the name of the file target, okay, hacker, hit enter. See, it says connected with this. As you can see, the message has been received and printed on our screen. In the previous video, we have completed the data exchange between two machines using Trojan. Now let's move forward. Again, on the left side you will see the hacker's PC, and on the right you will have the victim's PC. Okay, so now I have added one more instruction to the target file. Now what does it mean? Again, I want to send a message to the hacker's machine, and this time we will use the message as input. Okay, so I am using a string. Now let's move to the hacker's PC and let me paste a code. Okay, instead of typing, I am pasting the code to avoid any error. Now let me explain you the meaning of this. So as you know, in the previous video we have received a data, right? So this time if we want to receive the another data, we will see it as a data 2. Again, the rest of the coding is same. Receive the data on the socket, this time data 2. Okay, decoded. If data 2 is equal to input, which in this case is true, see, we have sent the data as input. So input, it's a string, we are taking it as a string. Okay, so if data 2 is equal to input, then x, okay, x is equal to input, enter the command, which means we are processing it and then we will print on the hacker's machine that entered the command. We are asking hacker to enter the command which attacker wants to perform on the target PC, okay, remotely. So enter the command. As soon as the hacker enters it, it will send it to the target PC, right? See, x is a variable where we have stored the command, right? So it will send the command. Now when this system receives the command, actually it's unreadable first of all. Okay, so let me add some more lines of code. Let me paste it. Okay, so this is the new code which I have pasted. Now let's understand what it is. first CMD is equal to received data from the socket. The maximum size would be 1000 bytes, which means 1 KB. Okay, so the maximum characters it can hold will approximately 250 characters. So your command would be under 250 characters as per our example. Okay, and then decode it and then store it on the CMD variable. Now we will need one more library to process this data. Okay, to run the application we need one more library. Okay, so let me type here import OS. Okay, OS is the name of the library. So we will actually going to use the OS library, and we need a function called popen from this library. Okay, to run whatever hold under this variable. Okay, which actually is a command. So to run the command we are using popen feature from the OS library, and we are storing it in stream. Okay, stream is a variable. Now then we will convert it into the readable form. So output is equal to whatever store in the stream, which is the unreadable, make it readable. Okay, so we use the read function. Now as the command gets completed successfully, then again send the data. Okay, this time the data would be output. Okay, whatever output we received by running the command, we will send it to the hacker. So now hacker would receive the output as data 3. Okay, so just receive it, decode it, and then print it. Okay, so this is how we can run a command remotely using Trojan. Okay, now let's perform the practical. So let me save the file first. Let's close it. Again save and close. Let's open the terminal. Okay, command prompt cd desktop. Let's run the file, which is target.py. Hit enter. It says waiting to be connected. Again cd desktop, run the file from hacker's PC. Okay, see it says connected with this on port number this. Now let's type the command on hacker's PC. Suppose let's try net user. Okay, to see a list of all the available users on the target PC, simply hit enter and you will see the output. Okay guys, so I have made a mistake in one of the file, that's why we are unable to see the output. So let's edit this file on the hacker's PC, and here you can see that at the last line I have mentioned print the data. Okay, and not the data 3. That's why we are receiving the old data, which is this one. Okay, that's why we are seeing welcome to target PC again, right? So simply add data 3, save the file. Okay, let's just close both of these things and let's try again. cd desktop python target, waiting to be connected. Let's check the coding. Everything is fine. So let's open command prompt cd desktop, and now python hacker, enter the command. Let's type the command net user. See, it worked, right? Now you can perform other commands as well. For example, md space hacker 444. md stands for make directory. Okay, so just close it. Let's switch to the victim's PC. See, the folder hacker 444 has been created on the current directory. And now let's check the list of all the users by using net user command. Okay, so the output would be same. Now let's try to shut down the target PC. So desktop Python hacker. Okay, first we have to run this file. So Python target, done. Now if we use shutdown -r stands for restart, this would actually restart the target PC. Okay, and if I use s and hit enter, see it says Windows will shut down in less than a minute. Okay, so this is how we can create a Python, we can exchange the data, and we could also control the target PC. Okay, we can create the data, we can delete the data, we can shut down the system, we can restart the system. Okay, so we can run approximately all the Windows command remotely using a Python this way. Okay, see the target PC is shutting down. Okay, so you have learned a lot of ways to hack the Windows operating system, right? But what if all the methods explained before will failed for any technical reason? Okay, in that case we will going to use a tool called Lace Soft. Okay, so this is going to be the last tool to hack an Windows operating system. Okay, now why this tool is different from others? Because if somehow you failed to hack into a Windows operating system using any of the tools including this one, then this tool will help you to copy the complete data of an Windows operating system without using any password, and you can copy the data into your external hard drive or any pen drive, right? First of all, you have to download this tool from the official website lacesoft.com/download. Okay, once downloaded, you have to install this tool in your own operating system first. Okay, so here it is. So let me install it first. Click on yes. Okay, accept the agreement. Again, next, install, right? So remember one thing, Lace Soft Recovery Suite version 4.5, it is a home edition which is free of cost. If you go for professional one, that would be paid, right? Let's launch the application. Okay, now it says choose one module, so you can select any of these, but for now we will go with this one. Now it says please select the Windows version of the target computer. Okay, not on your computer but for the target computer, right? So you can select any of these: XP, Vista, 7, 8.1 and 10, right? Let's say for now we will go for 764-bit, right? We can also go for Windows 10 64-bit. Let's try this one. Click on next. Now you will see three different options. If you want to make a bootable CD or DVD, select the first option. If you want to make a bootable USB drive, then select the second option. But for now we don't have any of these, so we will go with ISO image. Okay, it will create an ISO image on our computer with the name lsboot.iso. Okay, lsboot means Lace Soft boot. Now simply click on start to begin the process, right? Now see, it is creating the ISO file for us and our target would be Windows 10. Okay, so in our virtual machine I already have installed a Windows 10 operating system. Okay, so this process will going to take some time, so let me pause the video for a while. Okay, it says the ISO image was created successfully. Click on OK, and it has automatically opened the location of the ISO file, right? So here it is, which says lsboot. Let me copy this and we will paste it on the desktop. Okay, now simply close it. Okay, now let's open the Windows 10 operating system, right? But first let me add the ISO file which we are created. So here is the CD-ROM. Let's add ls boot. Okay, so here it is. Click, select this one, click on live CD, click OK, and let's start the operating system. Okay, so right now we are starting our target operating system. Okay, so here you can see two different options. The first one is less soft live CD and the other one is Windows memory diagnostic. But for now we will go with the first option, as we want to access the data of this Windows 10. Okay, see, it's starting the Windows 10 operating system. Okay, it will start the process automatically, right? Okay, now it says what you want to do. Want to go for Windows recovery or data recovery, password recovery, or disk image and clone. Okay, so select any one option which you want to do, right? So let me open Windows File Manager, and here you can see my computer. Okay, system reserved, this is the D drive. So these are the file on the target machine. Okay, these are the file of our target user. You can go to any programming file or any of the data and you can easily copy anything by just selecting that. Okay, you can select that, you can open the file, even you can copy the file. Okay, or you can go for password reset. This way you can reset the Windows password. Obviously we want to reset the Windows password, right? Now click on next. It says the is non-commercial use only. Okay, click yes. It says reset local password, obviously, or you can see the different options, but right now we have only one. See, now you know all the username present on the target machine. Okay, so simply select the user of which you want to break the password. Okay, click next. Here click the button reset or unlock. Simply click on this button. The password reset successfully. Okay, so right now we have removed the Windows 10 password. Okay, now you can go to Windows and you can go to Laysoft File Manager. Again you can see the complete data available on the target machine. Okay, so these are all the files of Windows 10 target PC. Okay, simply right click and you can copy this data and you can paste it on the external drive if attached to your system. Okay, so we can use Laysoft for two purposes. The first one is to remove the password of the original target system, and the second one is simply copy the data if somehow you failed to crack the password, right? In that case we can simply copy the data onto our pen drive. Okay, so now we will see how we can imply the special permissions on any file or folder which we want nobody to see. So first of all, let me create a new folder and let's call it secret. Okay, now I have my some important data into this folder and I want nobody to access it. Okay, so let's see how we can imply the permissions on any file or folder in Windows operating system. First of all, let's open command prompt. Let's move to desktop. we can use dir command in order to get a list of all the files and folders on the desktop. Okay, so we have our secret folder. Now let's use a command called CACLS, which means change access control list. Okay, then name of the folder, which is secret, and then we use /p, which stands for permissions. Then the name of the user for which you want to apply these permissions. Okay, so I want to apply this permission for all the users, so I will use everyone. Okay, which means if someone logins to this system using any of the account, then he is not able to access the secret folder. Okay, so then provide the permission. N stands for none. Okay, if you want to give permission for read or write, that's a different thing. Okay, but for now I am giving none. Hit enter. It asks you, are you sure? Yes. Done. Now if I try to open this folder, it says access is denied, right? Now if I try to go to properties in order to view the size, it says 0 bytes. Okay, again if I try to delete this folder, I can't, because I have applied permissions to all the users including myself. Okay, now let's see how we can remove these permissions. Simply go to command prompt, then CACLS, name of the folder, permission, everyone, and then F stands for full control. Click yes. Done. Okay, we can also apply one more permission. Just let me repeat the command, and instead of everyone, we can specify the name of the user which we don't want to access this folder. Okay, so for this, let me open one more command prompt, type net user. You can see the name of all the users here. Okay, suppose this time we don't want any guest user to access this folder. Okay, so simply type the name of the user, which is guest. Okay, and then permission would be none. Hit enter and done. Now this time we can access the secret data. Okay, first of all, let me apply CACLS. Let me remove the permission for admin user. So CACLS, then the name of the folder, okay, first of all let me change the location to desktop, CD desktop. Now CACLS, name of the folder. Okay, and now this time hacker F, there is one more thing, /p. Okay, done. So if I log in with the user hacker, I am able to access this file, but not with the guest account. Okay, so let's go to login screen and we will see whether it works or not. Okay, now let's try to delete the folder. Done. Okay, so this way you can give special permissions or specific permissions for a file or a folder to any user. In this section, I will teach you how to become untraceable over the internet. So by the end of this section, you will know how you can become invisible on the internet, right? Now I hope you understand your responsibility and you will not use these tools and techniques in order to harm someone, okay, or to do any illegal things, right? But you can use these tools and techniques if you are a security expert and you are performing an investigation. You can also use these tools and techniques in your day-to-day basis in order to protect your privacy, because you know that nowadays if you visit a website, that website will collect a lot of information about you, right? So suppose you have visit a website to buy a product and then you cancel your plan, okay, you have not purchased that product, then Google show you its ad wherever you go on the internet, right? So you are watching a YouTube video and suddenly Google says, hey, 20% off, buy this product now, something like that, right? So it is very important to protect our own privacy these days, okay? So there are a lot of tools and techniques I am going to show you in this section in order to provide you knowledge on how to become untraceable over the internet, okay? So we will going to use Windows and Kali both. So for now, let's say you type what is my IP, right? So what happen is nobody knows you on the internet, okay, but everyone knows about your IP, and IP address is itself an identity, right? So here is your IP. So websites can easily store information about this IP, right? And if a hacker try to attack you, he will going to use this IP address, right? So it is very important to hide our main IP address, okay, to hide our real IP address. It is a very important thing. So let's start with hiding our IP first, okay? So I am going to use a tool called hide my IP, okay? Let's start with the basics. So this is a very easy tool, right? So we will start with it. So we will first download hide my IP, and then we will see one other tool which is same as this one, but that will provide you some more free IP addresses, okay? So let me download this tool and I'll come back. The tool has been downloaded and now let's install it. So click on OK, accept the agreement, next, again next, next. Now let me tell you one thing, that it's my job to teach you how to become invisible over the internet as you are learning cybersecurity. But if you perform any illegal activities, then there are some security experts out there, and there are some government organizations are there who have access to more resources than you and I have, right? So there are some chances that they may be able to trace you, okay? So let's not do that, and click on finish. Now let's run it and see how it works. Now hiding IP is not sufficient. There are some other things that we should focus on. So in the next lesson we will see about MAC addresses, right? What is MAC address and how to change our MAC address, okay? But for now, let's focus on hide my IP tool. So this is how this tool looks, and it says you are not hiding your real IP, okay? Now let's see some options here. So first of all, this is IP rotation, okay? You can rotate your IP at a specified duration, right? You can also clear cookies whenever IP changes. You can launch this tool on startup, and if you require US based IP only, okay, then you can select this option, right? But for now, let's undo all of these, and here you can use high-speed services, but it is a premium service, okay? And we are using a trial version. It says trial expires in 3 days. You can also select your desired location, okay? Let's say you want IP from a particular country only, then you can select that country from here, right? Now let's see some advanced settings. So here is a list of some browsers that is it has taken by default, so that's okay. Now click on hide my IP. Okay, you have to click on this button. Now it says searching for an available IP. Okay, so it will search its server, it will connect to its server in search for a IP, okay, for a available IP, so it can use it. See, it says our current IP is this and the new IP, which is a fake IP, is this, right? So let's verify. Open your browser. So this one is our old IP, which is our real IP. Now let's reload this page and see whether it works or not. So it's showing the same IP. Okay, let's close the browser and let's open it again. Okay, let's go to google.com. It's working slow, so we have to wait. Okay, now let's search what is my IP. See, the IP is now changed. Okay, we are using a fake IP, right? So now if you visit any website, then that website will not able to see your real IP address, right? So it is very important if you want to protect your privacy over the internet. Okay, but as now you can see that it says trial expire in 3 days. Okay, and we have not a lot of IP options available for free. So there is one more tool which provide you some more free IPs. Okay, so download hide all IP. Okay, so hide all IP, this is the another tool. Let's download it. Let me pause this video for a while. Now let's install the tool. Next, 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 again next, and install. So this is the easiest way to hide your IP. Okay, so it says finishing installation, done. Okay, let's run this. Let it open. Okay, so it says fetch hide IP server. Okay, it has detected that I am running a virtual machine. No problem. Continue trial. See, it provides you a 30-day free trial period, but as it has detected that I am running a virtual machine, that's why it's giving me only a 1-day free trial. Okay, so see, here you have a list of all the available IP addresses for free. Okay, select any of these and click on connect. Okay, so this way your new current fake IP would be this. Okay, which says location is United Kingdom, right? So it's another very easy to use tool, and you can clear cookies from here as well. Okay, simply click on clear Internet Explorer cookies. Okay, and it will clear all of your browser cookies, right? To disconnect, simply click on this button. Okay, to get back to your original IP again, and it says change every 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, etc. Okay, so you can change IP every 5 minutes as well, right? Now before connecting to any IP address, first you have to check signal strength. Okay, the stronger the signal strength, the more effective it is, right? So this way you can change your IP address using these two different tools. And in the next lesson, I will teach you that what is MAC address and how we can change a MAC address. In the previous video, we have talked about how we can hide our IP address using some free tools. Okay, but now in this video we will talk about how we can hide or change our MAC address, right? So what is MAC address? MAC stands for Media Access Control Address. It helps you in network communications, right? So basically it is your physical address or your hardware address. Okay, so it's a unique identity for your device in a network. Now you might be thinking why it is important to change MAC address. Suppose someone has hacked into your router and he has committed some crime. Now security professionals on the base of IP address has traced you. Okay, they will reach you and they think that you have committed the crime, right? But doing further investigation, they found that the MAC address from which device the crime has been committed is not yours. Okay, so that way they will able to trace or further investigate and find that particular device. Okay, so it is important to change your MAC address as well. As you are a security professional, then you must know that it is possible to change MAC address using some softwares. So let's open your browser and type download tmac. Okay, and open the first link, and it is another free tool. So click on download now. See, some of the softwares for ethical hacking may available for free completely and some may provide you a trial version. Okay, so let's click on direct download. So this is the tool which going to help us to change our MAC address. Okay, but you can change your MAC address only till the software is running. Once you quit the software, you will get back your original MAC address. Download and install the tool. Installing the tool is like any other software. Next, install. That's it. Now let's see how we can find our real MAC address. So command is get mac/v. Okay, so see, every device has its own MAC address. Like external wireless adapter has different IP and your internal wireless adapter has different IP. If you are connected using Ethernet, it has different physical address. You can see a list here like Ethernet and Ethernet 2, loopback, etc. Right? So here are three different devices with three different physical address. Now let's see our tool, which is tmac. Okay, so see, it's showing all of them. These are the real IPs. Now let me show you that how easy it is to change MAC address. Simply click on random MAC address button. It has automatically selected a MAC address, but if you want any other unique, then you can select from available list. Okay, anyone you want, and simply click on change now. But before that, first you have to select that which network connection you want to change this. Like I want to change MAC address for Ethernet. Okay, so select that, click on random MAC address and click on change now. Okay, so it says changing MAC address was changed successfully. Okay, so let's check it. Go to command prompt, run the command again, and let's see whether this software works or not. So this is the original MAC address of Ethernet, this one. Okay, and now let's see the new one which is assigned by this free tool. Okay, so Let it show the output first. So the tool says this was the original MAC address and this was the active MAC address. Okay. Now let's see on the command prompt. Again, it's taking time. Let's stop the process first. Okay, see, here it is. This is the new MAC address, which is a fake MAC address. Okay, and this is the real one, right? So this way you can use free tools to change MAC address. Now let's talk about Tor. So what is Tor? So Tor is basically an open source and free to use software to enable anonymous communication, right? So the word Tor is derived from the onion router, right? To download Tor, you have to visit torproject.org/download. Okay. Now depending upon your operating system, you can choose the version of Tor, right? Now, in normal case, whenever you try to connect to a website using your computer, you simply type the website name, let's say www.facebook.com, okay, and then your PC will connect to that website, right? But if we talk about Tor, then in that case, suppose this is your PC, okay, and now this time you are using a Tor browser, right? So Tor is basically an encrypted network, okay. So you have typed facebook.com. In that case, the Tor browser will connect to its directory first, okay. So this is Tor directory. Now from this directory, it will get the information regarding the path to reach that website, okay. So this directory contain all the information about nodes or hops. So which hops to use in order to reach that website by decided using this directory, okay. Once it got its path, in that case, okay, in that case your PC will connect to that first hop, okay, and the message is encrypted, okay. Then this hop will only know the purpose that I have to take a file from this PC and then I have to deliver that file to the other hop, let's say this one, okay. Now none of the single hop will ever know that the complete path of your message, okay. So none of the hop will know that you are the source and your destination is facebook.com, right? So the job of this second node is to take the message from this node and then deliver it to the other, let's say this one, okay. So this one deliver the message to this node, right? Now this node will help you to connect with your destination, okay. So destination would be facebook.com, right? So this is the basic structure of Tor, right? So by default Tor will use 3 different nodes or 3 different hops, okay, to reach to your destination. For example, suppose this is my PC and I am from India, so I am using Tor browser, right? And my first node will be from US, okay, and my second node will be from Europe, right, and my third node will be from Dubai, right, and then from that node I will reach to my destination, which is facebook.com, okay. So hackers generally use Tor browser because it is also known as hackers browser, right? So the purpose behind that is, suppose some hacker has committed a crime, someone hacks into Facebook, okay, and that is illegal, right? Now when the security experts of Facebook try to trace that hacker, they will only able to reach to the first hop, okay, which is the last one for hacker and first one is for Facebook, right? So it is very difficult to trace a person if he uses a Tor network, right? And by default, approximately after every 10 minutes, Tor provides you a new circuit. So this is a example of a single circuit. Okay, so you are using 3 different hops, so it's a circuit, right? So it will renew after every 10 minutes, okay, approximately. Now whenever you reload your page or you try to connect some other website, let's say after accessing Facebook you want to visit YouTube, right? So in that case, this directory will provide you a new circuit, okay, a new set of hops, okay. It will not going to use the same circuit again and again, right? So it is very important to know about Tor. Now if you are using Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, stop using them, right? And now start using Tor browser, because it will help you to protect your privacy, okay. So the message you send to these nodes is encrypted, okay, not by single layer but by multiple levels, right? Multiple layers of encryption. So none of the hop is able to decrypt that message until it is required to do, right? So this is the importance of Tor, and now I hope that you will start using Tor. In the previous video, I told you that start using Tor for your privacy protection, right? So yes, it's a good thing, but you cannot completely rely on Tor, because Tor browser after all has its own weaknesses, right? So but now Tor community is trying very hard to remove all of them by upgrading Tor browser many times, right? So I am using the latest version of Tor browser, which is 8.5.4, okay. So now let's see how Tor actually works. In the previous video I have explained its circuit. Now let's talk about what happens when you send a message. So suppose you are trying to send a message, okay. So Tor will protect this message by using multiple layers of encryption like this, okay. Now you have 3 different routers. So you as a client try to send a message to the destination, but between source and destination there are 3 different routers, router 1, 2 and 3, right? So router 1 is able to decrypt only one layer of encryption, right? So that router 1 will know that I have to send this message to router 2, right? And once the message received by router 2, it will able to decrypt only one layer of protection, okay, one layer of encryption, so that it will know that router 2 has to send this message to router 3, and then router 3 will only able to decrypt the last layer of encryption. Now when the message reach to its destination, it will be in a plain text, right? So this way actually Tor protects you. Now the other benefit of using Tor is you cannot access some secret or hidden websites using your normal browser or your normal search engine like Google, okay. Google will not able to allow you to reach to those hidden websites, okay, because many of them are doing illegal businesses, right? And they are basically using an extension called .onion. So Tor help you to reach to that websites, right? So you have heard words about dark web or deep web, right? So to access those kind of stuffs, we use Tor browser, okay. Now let me show you some very important links for you. So this is the first one, which is tor.stackexchange.com. If you have any questions about Tor, you can ask them here, right? So it says Tor Stack Exchange is a question and answer site for researchers, developers and users of Tor, okay. So start using this website to get any help. Now Tor has own documents, or should I say manual. Okay, so it is a guide of using Tor. So you can visit torproject.org/documents/FAQs. Okay, so you will find answers to basic questions like what is Tor, how Tor is different from other proxies, why it is called Tor, etc. So there are a lot of questions, right? So these are some helpful links for you if you are a new user. So I hope now you know the importance of Tor, right? Now let's run the Tor browser. Installing the Tor browser is very simple. Simply double click on the setup, select your language and click on install, right? Now this is how the Tor browser looks like, right? Now the first thing, never maximize the size of Tor browser. As you can read the warning here that maximizing Tor browser can allow websites to determine your monitor size, which can be used to track you. Okay, so it is recommended that you leave Tor browser to the original default size, right? Now Tor browser use DuckDuckGo search engine. It is this search engine will protect your privacy. Unlike Google records your every activity and this one doesn't. Now if you are running Tor browser for the first time, then you can visit some of the information, like here you can see the welcome screen, then your privacy, then Tor network, then circuit display. Okay, then there is security. Now you can see your security level by clicking on this button. Okay, and let's go to advanced security settings. Here by default I am using standard security level. Okay, but if you want you can select safer and safest as well. Now the safest one, it will disable JavaScript, HTML5 media and other audio and video players, right, which help you to protect your security. Okay, which increase your security level and anonymity level. But for now, as I am using it for demonstration purpose, I will go with standard. Here are some other general settings of Tor, like you can update your Tor browser and just like other basic settings like any other browser. Okay, now it says Tor browser is up to date. Well, that's a good thing. Now there are some experience tips, etc. Okay, so this is your Tor browser. Now if we search for anything, let's visit facebook.com. As I told you in the previous video that the job of Tor browser is to protect your data, is to protect your message. Okay, it will add layers of encryption over your message. Okay, but I also told you that Tor has its own weaknesses. And what are they? Let's talk about them. First of all, Tor browser cannot control your activities. Okay, so accessing Facebook using Tor is not a good idea. Okay, so suppose you have downloaded any executable file from any website and you run that file, then Tor has no control over that file. Okay, that file may leak your information to its main server, right? So Tor would not able to help you in that case. Also, if you are allow running JavaScript on your browser, or you are running some players like Flash player or Quick player, etc., then Tor browser has no control over them. So it is recommended not to use any extension, any add-ons if you are using Tor, right? Now if you have any malware on your PC or on the website that you are visiting, then also Tor won't help you with that case. Okay, the job of Tor browser is mainly to protect your data from your internet service providers and other websites. Okay, but Tor has no control over that data which you are sending. Suppose you are sending your personal information in a document, okay, and you are using Tor, then there is no sense of using Tor, because you are sharing your own information with some other. Okay, So suppose you are sending any secret information on a website and you are using a Tor browser, and that website is not secure. So attacker can compromise security of that website and can read your information very easily, right? Now I told you that how not to use Tor. Okay, so to increase your security level, change your security settings to safest and disable all of the other plugins, and don't try to install any add-on, any extension, and don't install any attachment, etc. Right? And also clean your computer if you have any viruses or any malware, etc. Right? So Tor would help you in some cases in order to protect your privacy, your data, and that's all about Tor. Right? Now here are two more things. The first one is the Tor circuit, as I told you in the previous video. So here is our browser, which is first connected to a server from Germany, then we have another node from Hungary, and then the third hop from Netherlands, right? And then we will reach to facebook.com. Okay, but as soon as you logged into the facebook.com, Tor has no control over Facebook servers, as you know, right? So it is not a good idea to use Tor for visiting Facebook. You can use Tor to visit some websites that are blocked in your country. In that case, you can use Tor to bypass that restriction. Okay. Now there are two things. The first one is Tor circuit. Okay. And the other one is new identity. Okay. So there is a difference between the two. New identity means if you select this, it will restart your browser and assign you a new circuit, right? And why does it restart the browser? In order to clean all of the footprints stored in this browser. In order to clean all the evidences, it needs to restart the browser, okay, to give you a fresh, a clean web browser as a new browser, right? And if you select new circuit, okay, like new circuit for this site, so this will not going to restart browser. Instead it will reload facebook.com and assign you the new hops or new nodes, right? See, now it has changed from Germany, France. Remember in the last case, the last one is from Netherlands, right? So all of these IP addresses have also been changed. So to change a circuit, click on new circuit, and to change the complete identity, you can click on new identity. So this is the basic information about Tor browser, okay, and it is not recommended to use any kind of extension or third-party tools. Even you cannot use BitTorrent, okay. It is not a good idea to use BitTorrent if you are using Tor, right? Now you know what a Tor is and how it actually works. So now let's explore and start using Tor, and we will try to gain access to some of the hidden websites. We will explore or discover some of these secret websites, and we try to get into dark web, right? So here is my Google Chrome, and I am trying to open this website called as the piratebay.org. So it says this site can't be reached, right? Now let's copy URL and let's open our Tor browser. Okay, and once it open, we will try to access this website. Okay, so paste the URL and hit enter, and let's see whether it opens or not. So the piratebay.org is basically a website for indexing digital content, for sharing magnetic links or sharing torrent files, etc. So the government of India has blocked this website, but you can access this website by using Tor browser. Okay, connection timeout. Okay, see, the website has been opened now. Okay, so you can search for anything, let's say audio, video, other application, game, etc., right? but I advise you not to use these kind of websites. Now let's explore some of the hidden links. Okay, so to find out that links, you can search as Tor links. Okay, so if you search Tor links in DuckDuckGo search engine, then it would give you a list of websites with .onion extension. Okay, so let's open this one and let's see what we got. Yes, so it says, okay, so you can buy and sell guns, you can buy clone cards, fake IDs, killers, drugs, hackers, etc. Okay, see, as a security expert, you must know about all these kind of stuffs, but I advise you not to use any of these services. Okay, so here are some links. So let's see this one, which says Ahima search for Tor hidden services. Okay, so let's open this one, and let's open this one as well, which says clone cards. Okay, let's see what they have to offer, and there are a lot of .onion links here. Okay, see, there is a lot more. Now from here you can search for hidden services. Okay, simply type the name, like let's say hackers, and search for hackers. See, now these are the hackers which are providing you the black hat services as well, right? And they basically take payment in Bitcoin, so that it is hard to track the payment option, because it's after all an encrypted currency. So let's close this tab, let's close this one as well. Okay, so it asks you to choose a country, so let's select United States. Okay, so here are some cards for sale, and this is the balance in the card, and this is the price in Bitcoin. As I have told you that they demand prices in Bitcoin. Okay, so anyone can buy from here, but I advise you not to buy from this. Maybe they harm you. Okay, so we cannot trust these kind of services. So my aim is to show you how you can explore these kind of stuffs, but at the same time I advise you not to use any kind of services in dark web. In the previous video, I told you to search for Tor links in order to get .onion websites, but there are some more ways you can get them. Like you can visit reddit.com. You can also find some .onion services link on twitter.com, right? You can also search for hidden wiki. So let's see some of them. So let's say search for hidden onion links. Now let's open this one, reddit.com. As I told you, you can find these kind of links on reddit.com as well. Okay, see, now you can open any of this link if you want, right? Now you can also search for hidden wiki. Now let's open this one, torhiddenwiki.com. Now you can also access this website from your normal browser as well, but it is recommended not to use them. Now you can click on any of this link and it will redirect you to the respective .onion website. Okay, so let's check out this one, which is Tor search engine. See, Torch is also a Tor search engine, right? You can now search for any hidden service here. Okay, you can see some examples below. Okay, so but I advise you not to trust on this, because maybe these many of them are scams. They are just there to collect your information, to collect your money, and you cannot trace them as they take payment in Bitcoin as well, right? So this is basically how you can explore dark web using Tor browser. In the previous videos, we have seen how we can hide our IP address and how we can change our MAC address using softwares. Then we have learned about Tor. What is Tor and how does it work? Now in this video, we will talk about proxy chains. So what is it and how we can use it? Let's find out. Suppose this is your PC and you want to connect to the destination. Okay. So the first method, which is the simple method, is directly accessing your destination. Okay. So this is the easiest method. Now the other method is to use a hop or a node in between. Okay. And then from that node we have to reach our destination. Okay. Or you can also bounce your network from one node to another. Okay. And you can do this multiple times, as many times as you want, right? And then finally reach to your destination. Okay. So this is called a proxy chain. So these are proxies. Okay. These are hops in between you and your destination. Now you might be thinking that Tor does the same work, then why there is need to use proxy chains? Okay. Or what's the difference between the two? So the big difference between the two is, you remember I told you that Tor network always encrypt your data. Okay. So none of the single node will ever know the complete path of the data. A single node in Tor will only know that it has to transfer this data to the next node, right? But in proxy chains, every single node will know the complete path of data, which is not a good thing. Okay. Your data here is not encrypted completely, right? So it is easy for hackers to gain access to your data, and then it is easy for him to track you down. Okay. So it is not a good idea to use proxy chains because it is not that secure. But still, as you are on the path of becoming a cybersecurity expert, it is very important to know about all of the different fields, right? So let's see how we can configure proxy chains. First of all, let's find out some of the list of free proxies available over the internet. So go to your browser and type free proxy list. Okay. Let's open the first link. Let's scroll down. See, these are all the available proxies for free. Okay. So this second proxy is using port 8080. Now you can copy any number of proxies from here, right? And then switch to Kali, open your terminal, and let's go to the configuration file for proxy chains. So it is inside etc folder with the name proxychains.conf. So this is the configuration file for proxy chains. Now let's scroll up. The first change you have to make is remove the hash. Okay. It says dynamic change. Dynamic chain means at least one proxy must be online in order to use that. Okay. So in this file, we are going to paste all those IPs that we have copied from our browser. Now here is a strict chain. See, you have to make this line comment because strict chain will always follow a path. That is, it will first go to the first proxy, and if it is working, only then it will go to the next proxy, right? So it is not a good idea because we are trusting free proxies, right? We are not going for the paid one. Okay. Now here is another line which says random chain. Okay, let's enable this. And this is chain length. Okay, so let's change it to 3. Now what does it mean? It means if I am using 5 different proxies, then it will randomly pick up any 3 in order to access resources, okay, which is internet. Now leave all these to default for now. Let's go to last and make this line as comment. Okay, hit enter, and now paste all of the proxies you have copied from the browser. Okay, so let me pause this video and I will copy one by one IPs and then come back. So I am using 3 different proxies, and let's type HTTP at the starting of each line because it is the correct format. Okay, so first you have to mention HTTP, then your proxy IP, and then the port number, right? Now save the file, and now let's check whether it's working or not. As we are using free proxies, there are chances that many times it won't work easily, right? So let's test it. Type the command proxy change and then mention what you want to do with this. Let's say nmap and then your target IP. So it will perform nmap. Okay, it will going to use a tool nmap in order to scan your target IP, right? But for now, let's switch to Firefox and then mention your destination. Let's say www.duckduckgo.com. okay, and let's find out whether it's working or not. Simply hit enter and let's wait for the Firefox to open. Okay, so it has opened DuckDuckGo. See, so this is the basic way or the easiest method of using proxy chains, right? Now in the next video, we will talk about virtual private network. In this video, we will see what a VPN is and how does it actually works. So VPN stands for virtual private network, and it helps you with anonymizing your communication over the internet. Now why there is need to use VPN? Well, if you want to hide your internet history from your internet service providers, or you want to access a website which is restricted in your country, then you have to use VPN because it creates a secure connection over the internet. Now let's see how it works. Suppose this is your PC and this is your destination. Okay, so instead of accessing your destination directly, you have to connect with a VPN server first, right? So the structure would be like this. Your PC is connecting to the VPN server, and then VPN server is connecting to your destination. Okay, now there is a problem with VPN server as well, and now what it is? See, this tunnel, which is when you are connecting to the VPN server, so VPN server will secure this tunnel. Okay, so it is a secure communication between your system and VPN server. Now your internet service provider is not able to look into this data, right? If hacker try to find out that what inside this communication, then he is not able to do that because VPN provides you a secure tunnel. So it is a secure communication between your system and VPN server. But the connection from VPN server to the target is not encrypted. Okay, there is no layer of encryption on this network. So this network is not secure. If a hacker want to inject into this data, he will easily do that, right? Now, if you are using HTTPS website, then it is good because that will encrypt your data. Okay, but if you are using a normal website without any kind of security, then it is easy for third-party softwares or for hackers to interact with your data. Okay, so the communication between your system and VPN server is secure, but the connection between VPN server to your destination is not secure. Okay, now you can configure VPN in 3 different types. You have seen the first one, okay, which is directly using your computer to connect VPN server. Okay, the other way, suppose there are many computers in your network. Okay, so instead of using VPN directly from your computer, what you can do is you can configure VPN on your router. Okay, so this is your router. You can configure VPN on this router so that whenever any computer or any client want to access to the internet, then your router will provide VPN services for all of these. Okay, so either you can directly connect to a VPN server or you can configure VPN server on your router itself, okay, by going to its settings page. Now the third one is you can configure VPN inside a virtual machine. Suppose this is your PC and you are using a virtual machine, so you can configure VPN inside a virtual machine. So when virtual machine wants to access to the internet, it first has to use VPN server, right? Now it's up to you how you want to connect to a VPN server, directly or through a router or inside a virtual machine. It depends completely on you, right? Now there are many free and paid VPNs are available over the internet very easily. You can Google them, right? But the one which I am using is OpenVPN, right? And now why I am using OpenVPN? Because it is free, okay? It is more secure as it is an open source. It is available for all platforms, whether it is Windows, Mac, OS X, etc., right? And there is firewall protection. Okay, so what firewall protection means? It means OpenVPN will use similar ports like port number 80 or port number 443, etc. So it is very difficult for corporates to block them, okay, to block that ports. So it is not recommended to block port number 80 or 443, as you know that these are ports are used to access HTTP and HTTPS, right? So OpenVPN will use port number 80 or 443. That's why I personally prefer OpenVPN. Okay, but OpenVPN is not a complete VPN. So we have to use third-party softwares for this. And in the next video, I will show you how you can configure a OpenVPN on Windows 10. In this video, I will show you how you can configure OpenVPN on Windows 10. So first of all, visit their official website. See, we have to download two different things for this. Okay, the first one is OpenVPN client and the second one is the configuration files, right? So let's visit openvpn.net/community downloads. Now depending on the platform of your operating system, you can download any of these. So I will download this one which says Windows 10 installer. Okay, simply click here and the downloading will start. And the other one is to download configuration files. So we are using Smart DNS Proxy. It is a VPN service provider. Okay, so after creating account with them, they provide you a 14-day free trial. Okay, so after creating account with them, go to my account and then visit VPN. Okay, here you have to activate your VPN, but for this you need to subscribe to their services. So this subscription is a paid one, starting from $5 to all the way up to $50. Okay, so let me complete the transaction and then they will provide us with the configuration files. Okay, so here are configuration files in zip folder. You have to extract it, and here it is a setup of VPN client. Okay, so let's run the setup. Now it's just like installing any other software. Okay, so next, I agree, next, now install. Okay, but first remember the destination folder which says C drive, program files and OpenVPN. Now click on install and we have to wait till the installation gets completed. So the setup has been completed. Now click on next and click on finish. Okay, so we have successfully installed our OpenVPN client. Now let's head up to configuration files, open the folder, and now here you can either use any of them, but I recommend using TCP 443 or you can go for UDP 80, right? And from here you can use any configuration file which you want. Let's say select this one and let's select this one as well. Okay, so we have to copy these files to the OpenVPN folder. Remember, I told you to remember the location, which is program files and OpenVPN. Okay, Now go to config folder and paste the files here. Okay, done. Now the process has been completed. Okay, so this way you can configure OpenVPN on Windows 10. Now to check whether it's working or not, simply run OpenVPN as administrator. Now once it's started, you can visit your browser and you can access any website which you want, right? Now let's see whether it works or not. So pandora.com. Okay, it isn't available where you are yet. It says Pandora is only available in the US. Okay, so there is a problem with our VPN. Let's find out why it's not working. Okay, so you have to right click first on the computer icon below, and then you have to select any one of these. Remember, these are the two different files which we have copied inside the VPN folder. Okay, so let's say I select the first one and click on connect. Okay, now it asks you for the username and password. Okay, so let me enter my username and password first. The username and password I entered is the same as Smart DNS proxy. Okay, so you have to enter your login information from this website, right? But it is a paid service, so you can also search for free VPN service provider and you will get a lot of them, right? Now let's try to access pandora.com again and see, this time it's working. So this is how you can configure OpenVPN and use it. In the previous video, we have talked about virtual private network and its advantages and disadvantages. Now there is one more major drawback of virtual private network, and that is DNS leak. Many a time it happens that your VPN service provider doesn't have their own DNS server, so they take services from third party, right? So your DNS service provider may able to see your content, okay, your all of the information which you are searching over the internet, which is not secured, right? So there is a website to check whether your IP is leaking DNS or not, and it's called as dnsleaktest.com. Okay, so open this website. Let me open this using Tor, and it says your IP is this. Okay, now click on standard test. So it will perform a quick test and will give you the output like the name of your DNS service provider and your location, etc. Now see, it says your IP is this, which is changed. Your DNS server is this name, host name. This is your internet service provider and this is your country. Okay, so I am not from Germany, right? So that's why it is important to use Tor. Now in this complete section we have seen different methods, like how we can hide our IP, how we can change our MAC address, what is Tor, how we can use it, how does Tor actually works. Then we have talked about proxy chains and then VPN and its advantages and disadvantages. Now to gain maximum anonymity, okay, to gain maximum security, we will use live operating systems. Although there are many live operating systems available over the internet, but the one which I personally use is Tails. Okay, so it provides you privacy and maximum anonymity for your communication over the internet. Okay, so this is the official website of Tails. Now click here, that is install Tails 3.15. Now it says which operating system are you installing, for Windows, for Mac OS or Linux. So I select Windows. And now there are two other options, download only for USB sticks and download only for DVDs and virtual machines. So I will select the last one, okay, because I am going to perform this practical on my virtual machine. So there are two methods you can use a live operating system. The first one is using a CD or DVD or using a bootable USB drive and run it on your main machine. Okay, and the other one is use it in virtual machine. So for our practical, I am using it in virtual machine. Now, what is the advantages of using a live operating system? See, live operating system will virtually create a hard disk, and as soon as you turn off the system, it automatically destroys all of the information, okay, all of the footprints. It doesn't store any data on your actual hard disk. It only uses a single type of memory, and that is your RAM, right? So live operating system provides you maximum anonymity. Now let's see how we can use it in a virtual box. So this is virtual box. Let's create a new machine and give it a name Tails, and it is a Debian based operating system. Okay, so Linux and Debian 64. Click next, again next, create. Now if you ask me which is more secure, using Tail operating system in VirtualBox or using it in our main machine, so I will suggest use it in your main machine, right? Because there is a drawback if you use it in VirtualBox, and that is VirtualBox create a hard disk. Okay, so after you uninstall live operating system, still it is a drawback of VirtualBox that it has created a hard disk on your physical disk, right? And if you delete this, it doesn't matter, the footprints are still there, and forensics can recover that. So it is important to use live operating system in your main machine. Now okay, click on create, and now go to settings, then storage, CD DVD ROM, and add the image here. Okay, click OK, and then click on start. Right now I already have started the Tail operating system, which is here, right? When you boot this operating system for the very first time, it will ask you that how you want your operating system looks like, whether you want it to look like a Linux or you want to look like it a Windows operating system. Okay, so you can also select Windows 8 as well. Okay, and it will show you that it is similar to Windows 8. Now why I choose Tail operating system over others? Because it has a inbuilt feature of encryption. It provides you USB drive encryption, it also provides you browser encryption, and it also provides you text encryption. For example, from here you can create a file and you can encrypt it with password, right? Now Tor is inbuilt, so you can use it. You can also configure a VPN connection from here as well, right? And there are many other applications, you can visit them one by one. Okay, now you have seen many different ways for privacy and anonymity. Now it's up to you to use your creativity, and you can combine many of them. For example, you can run live operating system and then use Tor browser and then add a trusted VPN service to gain the maximum level of anonymity and then access your resources over the internet, right? So there are many ways you can do it, but the one which I prefer is run live operating system on your main machine and then use Tor browser. If you want, you can also add VPN or proxy chains, or you can also use a third-party software to add an extra layer of security, right?